Chapter 113. Steward Wu. In the afternoon, Xing Hui found Wu Yu. I have something that will take me a few days. During this period, I might cause some trouble. If you have finished selling the sea beast corpses, why don't you return first? Wu Yu naturally knew that Xing Hui was the one who had caused a stir in Shaoyang Sea City during this period of time. Furthermore, he secretly guessed that Xing Hui's corpse was most likely related to the beast tied at Sea Breeze Fort. However, since this corpse was obtained by Xing Hui and North Sea City was planning to rope in Xing Hui, he naturally would not request for Xing Hui to hand over the corpse of the 4th-rank half-holy beast. Do you need our help? If you do, I can leave a group of people behind. You are now our North Sea City's upper guest elder. Although North Sea City is not a big force, you can still contribute to some small matters. There's no need. You and 3rd Miss should leave as soon as possible. It's best if you leave today. Huh? Wu Yu was slightly stunned. Then, as if he had thought of something, his expression suddenly changed. However, he did not reveal any of it on the surface. He only nodded cautiously. I will arrange for departure. Be careful. If there is any danger, protect yourself first. I understand. Xing Hui nodded. After Wu Yu left, he quickly made arrangements. Not long after, Dan Taiyu appeared outside Xing Hui's door hesitantly. Qingsu, I've heard that Xian Fan, ranked 692nd on the Divine Dragon ranking, has come to visit you. He wants to force a deal with you. I've more or less heard of this Xian Fan. It's said that he has an extremely bad moral character and a strange temperament. Just because he's at the 4th level of the longevity realm, he often kills people for their goods. Once a cultivator is targeted by him, they'll never have a good ending. Countless cultivators have died at his hands, but his cultivation is impressive and he has great foresight. He doesn't want to offend people who are ranked at the top of the Divine Dragon ranking, so even though he's committed countless crimes in the past few decades, no one has been able to do anything to him. After hearing this, Xing Hui understood why Hyun Fan asked him to find out his name before making a decision. If it was someone else, after hearing about his various evil deeds, they would have knelt down and begged for mercy in order to save their lives. They would have handed over the treasures in their hands with both hands. But Xing Hui, with the Crimson Dragon Sword in hand, his strength is not weaker than a late-stage spirit-refining cultivator. With the sacred technique, he is not inferior to a mid-stage Spirit Chi Unity Realm cultivator. That Hyun Fan, who is ranked 692nd on the Divine Dragon list, is probably just an ordinary cultivator in the Spirit Chi Unity Realm. If he really dares to not know what is good for him and kill his way to his door, he does not mind helping the heavens to eradicate this evil demon who has been doing evil for many years. I know. Although that Hyun Fan is amazing, I am not afraid of him. Moreover, you have seen me take out my flying sword. If I really meet a danger that I cannot solve, I can just fly away. Hyun Fan has not entered the Qingming realm and cannot fly. He can't do anything to me. When Tan Taiyu thought of the flying sword in Qing Su's possession, she eased up slightly. You're only a cultivator of true Qi after all. Even if you've encountered extraordinary fortuitous encounters and obtained many treasures, it's still extremely dangerous for you to face people who have fused with Qi. The slightest carelessness can lead you into danger, so you still have to be extremely careful. I know what I am doing. Don't worry, Xing Hui said. After ending the conversation, Dan Taiyu, Wu Yu, and the others quickly summoned many experts of North Sea City and left before night fell. Even if someone like Xian Fan, who was at the Unity of Spirit and Energy realm, went to the Dragon Whale Island, the Dragon Whale Island Lord would have to personally make an appearance, let alone Northern Sea City, which was only a vassal of the Dragon Whale Island Lord. If North Sea City rashly intervened in this matter, it was very likely that it would bring disaster to the entire North Sea City. After watching Wu Yu and the others leave, Xing Hui returned to his room. He knew that today would be the darkest moment before dawn. Tomorrow, after the auction ended, a bloody storm would definitely occur outside Shaoyang Sea City because of the corpse of the half-step holy beast Jiuing. It's about time, Xing Hui muttered to himself. The fire essence core he obtained from the half-step holy beast Jiuing had been continuously absorbed and refined over the past few days. Only a tiny bit was left, As for himself, then, in the next moment, Tsing Hui sucked in all of the remaining energy from the fire essence core into his body. After losing all of its energy, the fire essence core immediately disintegrated, turning into ashes from the inside out. As for the energy that entered his body, it surged violently before being absorbed and refined by the blazing golden crow true qi within his body. In the middle of the night, the extremely pure and blazing golden crow true qi began to transform from the inside out. Although the change wasn't obvious, the core of the flame now had a trace of platinum color. Golden crow true qi, large success. Tsing Hui let out a light breath. Suddenly, this breath was like a cluster of flames that ignited in the air, causing the temperature in the room to rapidly rise. This was the impurities that had been expelled from the fire essence core. He was already prepared for this. He took out a high-grade water spirit stone and stimulated the energy within, quickly neutralizing the dissipating flame energy. Jiuying, a fourth-order half-step holy beast in terms of battle strength, is no worse than those late-stage unity of spirit and qi experts who have cultivated ordinary aura qi. But the fire essence core of such a half-step holy beast can only raise my golden crow true qi by a small realm. Tsing Hui frowned. At this moment, he deeply felt the difficulty of cultivating divine-grade true qi. No wonder many cultivators who had awakened the bloodline of divine beasts were often eliminated by the true energy realm and aura qi realm. Less than 1 in 10 could cultivate divine-grade aura qi. Whether or not I can cultivate the golden crow true qi to perfection will depend on this auction. I hope this auction won't disappoint me. As Tsing Hui spoke, he closed his eyes and continued to cultivate, consolidating the golden crow true qi that had reached large success. Time quietly passed. Early the next morning, he went directly to the Heza Chamber of Commerce. The Heza Chamber of Commerce had specially arranged a large conference room for him to bid. When Tsing Hui arrived, Long Yufeng, who was in charge of this area, was the first to welcome him. Prince Tsing Hui, you've come. We have already prepared the venue and are just waiting for you to come and host it. Tsing Hui nodded. As he and Long Yufeng stepped into the venue, many cultivators who wanted to compete for the corpse of the fourth-order half-step holy beast Jiuying looked over at the same time. These cultivators were all at least in the spirit refining realm, including the 6 spirit qi unification realm cultivators. Under the gaze of so many cultivators, if it were other true qi cultivators, they would definitely be frightened and would not be able to speak properly. However, Tsing Hui did not seem to notice their gazes and calmly walked to a platform in the center of the venue. Everyone, this brat originally planned to exchange the corpse of the half-step holy beast Jiuying with me. Now that he has broken his promise, after today's auction, I will definitely seek justice for him. However, strictly speaking, the corpse of the half-step holy beast Jiuying is already mine. If you want to bid for it, please consider carefully. Don't lose both the treasure and the treasure. As soon as Tsing Hui stepped onto the platform, a voice sounded from below. The one who spoke was Hyun Fan. For a moment, many puzzled gazes fell on Hyun Fan and Tsing Hui. Their eyes were filled with doubt and confusion. I originally thought that to be able to cultivate to the spirit qi unification realm, you would at least have some face. Seems like I have overestimated you. Your shamelessness has refreshed my understanding of human nature. After Tsing Hui finished speaking, he did not give Hyun Fan the opportunity to speak nonsense and directly said to Long Yufeng, "Your Heza Chamber of Commerce is unable to control this person, but does Shaoyang City not have the ability to do so? Contact the law enforcement team of Shaoyang City and throw this shameless person out." Good. Junior, I hope that you and the corpse of the half-step holy beast Jiuying that should belong to me will never leave Shaoyang City, otherwise... Hyun Fan glared coldly at Tsing Hui and said those words with a murderous aura before he turned around and left. This scene shocked many cultivators who originally thought that Tsing Hui had gotten lucky and obtained the corpse of a fourth-order half-step holy beast. Interesting. Have you investigated this thoroughly? Is Tsing Hui really just an upper-honored guest of North Sea City? An upper-honored guest actually has the guts to speak to Hyun Fan like that? Sir, we have just received the latest news. Tsing Hui cultivates holy true qi. Moreover, his holy true qi has reached phenomenal completion. His strength is not inferior to an ordinary powerhouse who has cultivated qi into energy. Moreover, rumor has it that he offended a true disciple of one of the saint lands in the mainland and had no choice but to flee overseas. I guess he is new here and does not know how powerful Hyun Fan is. His cultivation is only at the true qi realm, yet he managed to flee overseas after offending a true disciple of one of the 10 great saint sects. It seems like this person is indeed extraordinary. Discussions broke out among the crowd. Many people were curious about Tsing Hui. However, that was all. Many people who did not have any background were worried because of Hyun Fan's words. They seemed to be worried that even if they managed to obtain the corpse of the half-step holy beast Jiuying, it would still be snatched back by Hyun Fan. Seeing this scene, Tsing Hui understood why Hyun Fan did not care about his reputation and said those words. He was clearly trying to disgust him and make things difficult for him. At that moment, a murderous intent surged in his heart. However, after a while, he felt that something was amiss. The Hisa Chamber of Commerce clearly knew that he had a conflict with Hyun Fan, yet they had repeatedly sent Hyun Fan to cause trouble for him. It was unreasonable for the Hisa Chamber of Commerce to allow Hyun Fan to bully him like this. After all, this was Shaoyang Sea City. After a while, Tsing Hui gathered his thoughts and went straight to the point. Everyone must be here for the corpse of the 4th level half-step holy beast Jun. Vice President Long of the Hisa Chamber of Commerce should have brought you to inspect the goods beforehand. In order to not waste your time, I will not waste any more words. Let's get straight to the point. Both upper and peerless fire-type spiritual stones are available for auction. The ratio of upper and peerless spiritual stones to peerless spiritual stones is 1:15. Chapter 114. The ratio of high-grade and peerless grade spirit stones is 1:15. That's 50% higher than the market price. Although it's hard to exchange 10 high-grade spirit stones for a peerless grade spirit stone, if the price is 11 or 12, it'll be much easier. 1:15. This is clearly aiming for the peerless grade spirit stone. What is this Tsing Hui trying to do? Different grades of spirit stones contain the same amount of energy. Peerless grade, high grade, and ordinary grade spirit stones are only different in terms of energy purity. For him to offer such a high price for a peerless grade spirit stone, could it be that he wants to cultivate God grade earth chi? Exclamations rang out from the crowd when they heard Ching Su's bid. There's no market for fire spirit stones overseas. Usually, it's only 60% of the price of non-attributed spirit stones. I've long seen the opportunity and had our island master, Lord Longxiang, stockpile a lot of fire spirit stones. Now there's a chance. High-grade spirit stones, 40,000. At this time, a spirit refining realm red-robed man took the lead. Longxiang Island master's men, 40,000 high-grade spirit stones the moment he opens his mouth? This is too crazy. 40,000 high-grade spirit stones is almost equivalent to 500,000 ordinary spirit stones. I'm afraid that the price of a rank 4 divine weapon would not be more than that. Longxiang Island Master is an expert ranked 663rd on the Divine Dragon list. He's not afraid of Hyun Fan. His men have the confidence to bid. As soon as the bid was announced, the crowd exclaimed. Not long after the red-robed man bid, the crowd quietened down. Obviously, these people were afraid of Hyun Fan's words before he left. Those who had the qualifications to bid but felt that they could not afford to offend Hyun Fan, even if they wanted to fight for the Jiuying's corpse, they could only endure it and sigh. Some of them even left after weighing the pros and cons. Although the bidding continued, there was no sign of it becoming more intense. Even a few Spirit Chi Unity Realm cultivators did not want to offend Hyun Fan and left midway. After an incense stick's worth of time, the price of the semi-holy beast Jiuying's corpse had only reached 56,000 high-grade spirit stones. Compared to the red-robed man's bid, it was only slightly higher. This result made Tsing Hui's eyes turn colder. In the end, the red-robed man from Longxiang Island raised the price to 60,000 high-grade spirit stones. No one else raised the price. Because of Hyun Fan's meddling, this highly publicized bidding ended with a weak finish. 60,000, the final price was a full 40,000 lower than what Qing Su had expected. 40,000 high-grade fire spirit stones, even if the price of a fire spirit stone was only 60% of a normal spirit stone, it was still equivalent to 300,000 to 400,000 normal spirit stones. It would not be difficult to even buy a 4th-level divine weapon. Young Master Qing Su, the final bid is out. Shall we complete the transaction now? Long Yufeng arrived before Qing Su and smiled. Compared to his previous respectful attitude, there was a slight change in his attitude. However, Long Yufeng was a Gangqi realm cultivator. It was not inappropriate for him to speak to a genuine Qi realm cultivator with such an attitude. No one could criticize him. Done. Tsinghui said. Prince Tsinghui, do you want the spirit stone cards of the largest overseas trading companies or cash? Cash. Get ready. I'll take them with me. Well, Prince Tsinghui, please wait for a moment. I'll go and explain to His Excellency Tian Fei. After Long Yufeng finished speaking, he summoned a maid to serve Tsinghui. Then he turned and left. Seeing Long Yufeng leave, Tsinghui looked indifferent. Comprehension not only increased one's understanding of cultivation methods and swordsmanship, but also increased one's wisdom. He had already seen through the abnormality of the Heiza Chamber of Commerce. Of the 6 Spirit Qi Unity Realm cultivators, other than Hyun Fan, the rest were either afraid of Hyun Fan's strength or did not have the ability to purchase the corpse of a semi-sacred beast, or it could be said that the importance of a semi-sacred beast's corpse was not enough for them to spend a large amount of money to provoke Hyun Fan, a demon of the evil path. As for those spirit refining realm cultivators, there were many who wanted to purchase it, but how many of them had the courage to go against Hyun Fan? Then he thought about how the news had been mysteriously leaked not long ago and how Xian Fan had come knocking on his door. When all these coincidences were put together, it was no longer a coincidence. Normally, Qing Su could not be bothered to think about these problems. Most of his attention was placed on cultivation, so he had no time to pay attention to these schemes. But now he could not help but think about it maliciously. Soon, Long Yufeng brought Tsinghui to the spirit refining cultivator from Longxiang Island, Tian Fei. Under the witness of the Heiza Chamber of Commerce, Tian Fei opened a big box as tall as a person and said, Tsinghui, the spirit stones you want are all here. 4,000 fire spirit stones, peerless grade. If you are talking about peerless grade fire spirit stones, the ratio is 1 to 15. Of course. Tsinghui looked at the box of peerless grade spirit stones and felt the pure and dense fire elemental qi emitting from it. Even though he could use high-grade fire spirit stones to refine his junqi, it would take him a lot of time and effort to refine it first. On the other hand, supreme-grade fire spirit stones contained fire origin energy that had reached the pinnacle of purity, allowing him to directly absorb it. Even though it was expensive, it could save him a lot of time. It's good that you are satisfied. It's a pity that the most valuable parts of the Jiuying's corpse, the fire essence core and water essence core, are not here. Otherwise, the price of the corpse would be even higher. Tian Fei said regretfully. At the same time, he looked at Tsinghui and said, if you find the fire essence core and water essence core of the Jiuying's corpse, you can contact me or come directly to Longxiang Island. We have seen the low price of fire spirit stones in recent years, but we have collected a lot of fire spirit stones. There are not only high-grade fire spirit stones, there are even peerless grade fire spirit stones. If you can take out enough treasures, you will not be disappointed. Tsinghui listened and nodded. He knew that Tian Fei and the others must have guessed that the half-step Holy Jiuying's core was in his possession. However, he would not expose this point. There was no market for fire attribute spirit stones overseas. The price was only 60% of ordinary spirit stones. On the other hand, water attribute spirit stones were 40% more expensive than ordinary spirit stones. However, there were also people who saw the business opportunity in this. They bought and sold the cheap fire attribute spiritual stones from overseas to the mainland, and then bought and sold the water attribute spiritual stones from the mainland to overseas. Through this method, they gained profits. Dragon Elephant Island Lord obviously had his own similar channels. If he needed fire attribute spiritual stones in the future, he could go to them. Prince Tsinghui, do you need us to arrange a flying boat for you? Long Yufeng asked enthusiastically after seeing that the two had completed the transaction. There's no need for that. I've already rented a Gale Giant Eagle. We can just ride it there. Gale Giant Eagle? It's not as comfortable as a flying boat. Long Yufeng said with a smile. But it's fast, isn't it? Long Yufeng was slightly stunned. He nodded and said, that's true. Prince Tsinghui has a lot of money with him. He has to go back as soon as possible to avoid being spied on. The Gale Giant Eagle was a mutated beast. Although its blood had not reached the level of a spirit beast, it usually had the strength of an immortal level 1 or even immortal level 2. Moreover, its flying speed was extremely fast and its endurance was amazing. It could fly for 3 days and 3 nights at a speed of 200 to 300 kilometers per hour. An ordinary flying boat could not be compared to it. Goodbye, Tsinghui said to Tianfei. He then called for the carriage that the Heza Chamber of Commerce had prepared outside. He asked someone to load the box onto the carriage and headed to the Xingtian Pavilion, which specialized in the rental and sale of flying beasts in Shaoyang Sea City. Prince Tsinghui, the Gale Giant Eagle that you asked for is ready. However, due to some special reasons, Prince Tsinghui needs to pay 3 times the deposit, which is 300 spiritual stones. Only then can we let Prince Tsinghui ride the Gale Giant Eagle to the Dragon Whale Island branch. Please forgive us, Prince Tsinghui. Outside the Xingtian Pavilion, Deacon Yu, who was in charge of receiving him, lowered his head and said. Tsinghui looked at the deacon and asked, why didn't you mention the increase in the price yesterday? Our Xingtian Pavilion also needs to maintain operating costs. Prince Tsinghui's trip. To be honest, it's really dangerous. If Prince Tsinghui is willing to hire some bodyguards, it'll be fine. However, you're alone. I have to say that it's very likely that you'll die. Yu hurriedly added, although our Xingtian Pavilion doesn't have many experts, we've established relations with a few experts ranked at the top of the Divine Dragon leaderboard over the years. If Prince Tsinghui is willing, we can help you contact these experts and have them protect you on your way to Dragon Whale Island. Alright, I understand. Tsinghui waved his hand. He wanted the Gale Giant Eagle to hide the fact that he had a flying sword and the Son of Chaos personal space. If not for the fact that he was worried about exposing his flying sword, he wouldn't have needed to do this. Prince Tsinghui, why don't you think about it carefully? Not every organization can establish relations with experts ranked on the Divine Dragon leaderboard. If you miss this opportunity, you won't have another one. Spiritual stones. Tsinghui didn't waste any time and handed the spiritual stones over. Seeing this, Yu didn't insist. He could only take Tsinghui to the Gale Giant Eagle's living area and give him an ordinary Gale Giant Eagle and the Eagle Flute to control it. After taking the Gale Giant Eagle with a wingspan of more than 10 meters, Tsinghui fastened the box containing 4,000 supreme-grade fire spirit stones to the Gale Giant Eagle. He then got on the Giant Eagle and flew away. Before long, he had disappeared from the Xingtian Pavilion square. Seeing Tsinghui leave, Yu shook his head and sneered, how arrogant and ignorant. Does he really think that no one will have any ideas about him after he sold the corpse of the half-holy beast Juing? Even if Hyun Fan has shifted his attention to the warship on Dragon Elephant Island, those spirit-refining cultivators and even those Unity of Spirit Realm cultivators who covet the 4,000 supreme-grade fire spirit stones on him won't let him go so easily. Since last night, all the Rank 2 and Rank 3 flying beasts in our Xingtian Pavilion have been rented out. After saying this, he couldn't be bothered to pay attention to this true Qi cultivator who was bound to die. Almost at the same time that Tsinghui left on the Gale Giant Eagle, more than a dozen flying beasts in Shaoyang Sea City rose into the sky at the same time and quickly chased after Tsinghui. In fact, not long after the auction ended, there were a few small and fast warships that rushed towards Dragon Whale Island. It seemed that they wanted to set up an ambush outside Dragon Whale Island. It could be said that the hundreds of cultivators in Shaoyang Sea City who were walking in the gray area all moved because of Tsinghui's departure. Chapter 115. Tsinghui did not need to think to guess the movements of the people in Shaoyang Sea City. However, to the disappointment of those cultivators who had set a trap in the direction of Dragonwhale Island and waited for him to walk right into the trap, not long after he left Shaoyang Sea City, he actually stopped on Dragonwhale Island and stopped on a small island less than 100 kilometers away from Shaoyang Sea City that was specially used for people to rest on the way. The small island was less than a kilometer in diameter. It did not have any ancient forests or huge trees, nor were there any mountains or lakes. With a glance, it could be said that it was very difficult to hide someone. Xing Hui, who had landed on the island, did not have any intention of hiding. He sat quietly on the beach as if waiting for something, waiting for those who had ill intentions to covet the 4,000 fire spirit stones and the fire and water cores that he did not know if they even existed. The cultivators who had followed him here did not make Qing Su wait for long either. In less than half an incense's time, there were cultivators who rode on flying beasts and landed on the island. However, because the number of cultivators was not small and they represented different forces, they did not make a move on Xing Hui immediately after landing on the small island. Instead, they were on guard against each other, afraid that someone would take the opportunity to attack. Everyone, it's not a good idea for us to be on guard against each other like this. If we delay any longer, there might be even more people coming. If we're not careful, we might even alarm those big shots at the Spirit Unity realm. Thus, it's better for us to discuss a solution first so as to prevent others from taking advantage of us. A peak spirit refining realm cultivator stepped forward and said solemnly. Not only was he a peak spirit refining cultivator, the two people accompanying him were also not weak. The three of them could be considered to be the strongest force among the 14 spirit refining cultivators that followed them. Sire's words are correct. However, I feel that before we discuss a solution, we should first kill Xing Hui's Gale Giant Eagle. This way, he would be like a turtle in a jar in the vast sea without a flying beast. We do not need to worry about him making a comeback. A spirit refining cultivator agreed. That's right. Let's take care of our business first so that we won't fail miserably. This brat knows that there's danger, yet he dares to wait here and not leave. He must be fearless. We should be careful. As he spoke, everyone's eyes focused on Xing Hui. Since you have guessed that I am waiting for you here because I have something to rely on, why are you still courting death? Xing Hui's gaze swept across the crowd. From their expressions, he could tell that they had done a lot of robberies. Who represents the Blood Lord Hyun Fan? Who is the informant of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce? Looks like you really think of yourself as someone important. No matter how big your trump card is, you're still only at the true energy realm. Don't tell me you want to defy the heavens? Brat, if you have any tricks up your sleeve, use them now. Otherwise, it will be too late when we make our move. Several experts of the Aura realm shouted, but everyone's vigilance was raised to the extreme. Who represents the Blood Lord, Hyun Fan, and the Hiza Chamber of Commerce? If you speak up before you die, I can give you a way out. Of course, if I can't hold back, then don't blame me for what happens next. Xing Hui swept his gaze across these spirit-refining cultivators and was too lazy to be long-winded. In the next moment, a sword light that emitted surging heat waves shot out, brazenly stabbing towards the nearest Gangchi realm expert. How dare you attack my Tiger Shark's men? Do you really think that we're easy to bully? Captain, be careful. Rumor has it that this brat has cultivated holy rank true chi. Moreover, his true chi has reached the large success stage. We can't underestimate him. Seeing Xing Hui make his move, the few spirit-refining cultivators who were targeted by him shouted at the same time. The captain of the Tiger Shark, who was in the late stage of the spirit-refining realm, could clearly feel the heat wave coming towards him. It was almost suffocating. However, he still unleashed his aura chi and turned it into a sharp blade, colliding with the heat wave. Flames burst out. Xing Hui's Golden Crow Chi was directly turned into Golden Crow Chi under the amplification of the Crimson Dragon Sword. When the divine-grade Golden Crow energy at the level of mastery met with the ordinary energy at the same level of mastery, it was as if a divine weapon had cut into the ground. The saber energy of the Tiger Shark Regiment commander was easily torn apart, and the sword energy of the Crimson Dragon Sword pierced through without losing any momentum. The blazing and sharp sword energy caused his expression to change drastically. Not good, this is Qi. He is not in the late stage of the true Qi, but the aura Qi realm. Moreover, it is a divine grade aura Qi. The captain of the tiger shark exclaimed. He immediately dispersed his aura Qi and retreated. Unfortunately, Tsing Hui's golden crow Qi was not afraid of ordinary late-stage aura Qi cultivators. Now that his golden crow Qi had reached the late stage and he had taken out the crimson dragon sword, he had an absolute advantage against ordinary late-stage aura Qi cultivators. As the crimson dragon sword shone brightly, a sword light shot out from the sword and caught up to the retreating tiger shark regiment commander in an instant. Just as he was barely able to unleash his supreme force to defend himself, the sword light had already torn apart his weak supreme force and pierced through his throat at lightning speed. Xiao. After killing the captain of the tiger shark regiment with a single strike, the green ruin's sword shuddered, and he became one with the sword. In that moment he broke free from the combined attacks of the two other cultivators. After dodging their attacks, he suddenly turned around and swung the scarlet dragon sword in his hand at 180 degrees. Sword Qi rampaged. Although the two spirit refining cultivators had earth Qi to protect their bodies and were even wearing armor, this kind of defense that was enough to make ordinary true Qi cultivators helpless was like paper in front of the scarlet dragon sword's golden crow earth Qi, breaking it in one strike. The sword ray flashed. Two heads flew into the air. The three spirit refining cultivators of the tiger shark completely annihilated. The three spirit refining cultivators of the tiger shark were killed in an instant. It was so fast that no one could react. Immediately, a huge uproar broke out among the remaining 11 people. Saint Rank Great Success Stage Aura Qi. It's Saint Rank Great Success Stage Aura Qi. Who said that this kid is only a true Qi cultivator? Saint Rank Great Success Stage Aura Qi cultivators can even fight against Spirit and Qi Unity cultivators. In the Aura Qi realm, other than those who have cultivated Saint Rank Aura Qi, no one can resist it. It's not Saint Rank Great Success Stage Aura Qi. It's a divine weapon. The one in his hand is at least a Rank 5 divine weapon. Relying on the Rank 5 divine weapon's sharpness, he can transform his true Qi into Aura Qi and erupt with strength not inferior to a Great Success Stage Aura Qi cultivator. When the words Rank 5 divine weapon came out, the temptation brought by greed overshadowed the fear brought by the death of the three tiger shark cultivators. Rank 5 divine weapon. Even if it's a low Rank 5 divine weapon, if it lands in my hands, I will have the courage to face Spirit and Qi Unity cultivators. No wonder he, a true Qi cultivator, still has the courage to fight against so many Spirit refining cultivators. This Rank 5 divine weapon is his trump card. Quick, hit the Rank 5 divine weapon away from his hand. Without the Rank 5 divine weapon, any one of us can kill a true Qi cultivator with a flip of our palm. Chaotic shouts came out from the 11 spirit refining cultivators. These spirit refining cultivators had been walking in the gray area for many years and each of them had their own trump cards. However, since they could see that Tsing Hui's trump card was the Rank 5 divine weapon, they naturally could not reveal their trump cards so easily. They might as well let Tsing Hui borrow the strength of the Rank 5 divine weapon to kill some of the competitors. At that time, they would reveal their trump cards and hit the Rank 5 divine weapon away from Tsing Hui's hand. Without the Rank 5 divine weapon, Tsing Hui, who was only a true Qi cultivator, would be like a turtle in a jar. With such a mentality, the 11 spirit refining cultivators did not have the slightest intention of cooperating. Those who thought that they had a way to deal with the Rank 5 divine weapon instead quickly retreated, allowing Tsing Hui to kill the other spirit refining cultivators. Seeing this, Tsing Hui shook his head inwardly. Among the 14 spirit refining cultivators, there were 4 late and peak spirit refining cultivators. If all of them attacked together, they might not be able to do anything to him. However, it was not difficult for them to bring him some trouble and let some of them escape. Unfortunately, each of them represented different powers and were on guard against each other. There was no trust at all, and instead, they allowed Tsing Hui to kill them one by one. Not long later, Another 4 of the 11 spirit refining cultivators were killed. Just as Tsing Hui's sword turned and was about to cut down the 5th spirit refining cultivator, that spirit refining cultivator immediately shouted in fear, "Stop, Prince Tsing Hui, please have mercy. I am following President Gu's orders to follow Prince Tsing Hui. I hope that young master can see that I am only following orders and give me a way out." Finally forcing out a spy, Tsing Hui's sword slanted, and the sword that was originally aimed at his throat swept past his shoulder, piercing through it. The blazing golden crow chi exploded, causing more than half of his meridians to be incinerated. The intense pain caused him to let out a miserable shriek. "You should be glad that you reported your identity. If you were a moment later, I wouldn't even be able to spare your life." Tsing Hui's voice could be heard. He had already borrowed the force from the ground and charged towards another spirit refining cultivator. The remaining 6 spirit refining cultivators belonged to 2 groups. The one that Tsing Hui chose was the weaker one. "And you dare to attack us first? Do you think we are easy to bully?" The leader of the 3, a peak spirit refining cultivator, said, "I'll take out the absolute Yuan ring and trap his rank 5 divine weapon. You guys take this opportunity to kill him." "Alright, Boss Zhu Zhen, don't worry. As long as we can restrain his divine weapon, his true chi cultivation is not worth mentioning." The 2 spirit refining cultivators who received the order replied at the same time. In the next moment, the peak spirit refining cultivator, Zhu Zhen, suddenly stepped forward. Using some unknown footwork, he appeared in front of Tsing Hui. The moment Tsing Hui's Crimson Dragon Sword arrived, he waved a strange divine weapon made of 12 palm-sized silver rings, which directly encircled the Crimson Dragon Sword in Tsing Hui's hand. The moment the Crimson Dragon Sword was encircled, Tsing Hui could clearly feel that when he tried to inject his true chi into the rank 5 divine weapon, he was met with great resistance. It was as if he had lost control of the Crimson Dragon Sword that was created by him. "My true chi is depleting so fast. Rank 5 upper grade. Rank 5 upper grade. This is a rank 5 upper grade divine weapon. We're rich." Although it was extremely difficult for Zhu Zhen to restrain the Crimson Dragon Sword, he still shouted in surprise, "Rank 5 upper grade divine weapon?" Hearing Zhu Zhen's shout, the remaining 3 spirit refining cultivators' faces changed. They no longer cared about reaping the benefits. Attack. Chapter 116. "Ha, I've been waiting for you. Unfortunately, you won't have the chance." One of Zhu Zhen's underlings, dressed in black, shouted. A one-use treasure similar to the eternal blazing sun was thrown out by him with all his might. In an instant, it exploded in front of the 3 spirit refining realm cultivators. Streaks of extremely sharp and spiritual aura chi shot out, shrouding the 3 spirit refining realm cultivators. In an instant, they were surrounded by more than 10 spirit refining realm cultivators. This was a rank 4 unique treasure. One-use treasure. The aura chi won't be able to trap the 3 of them for long. Now is the time to kill this kid and take away the rank 5 divine weapon and the 4,000 top-grade fire spirit stones. How with this we'll be rich. At that time, each of us will have a high-grade rank 4 divine weapon. With the 3 of us working together, even spirit and chi unity realm cultivators will have to give us face. Let's end this quickly. Zhu Zhen and the other 2 spirit refining realm cultivators were strangely excited. Blinded by greed, Tsing Hui's spiritual world shone brightly. The blazing sun burst out with dazzling sword light, illuminating the entire spiritual world. Wang Wang. The next moment, a flying sword pierced through the air. The Qingxian sword, which was fully activated by the sword intent, tore through the airwaves with a piercing sound. In an instant, it pierced through the forehead of Zhu Zhen, who was trapping his Crimson Dragon Sword. The sharp and blazing sword light brought along a terrifying impact, sending him flying. At the same time, the Crimson Dragon Sword, which was trapped by the Absolute Yuan Ring, was finally able to break free. The blazing sword chi once again burst out, like a flaming tornado, fiercely colliding with the sword of the spirit refining realm cultivator. The flames exploded. It was as if a bomb had exploded in the air. The impact of the explosion instantly burned the grass and wood chips on the ground into ashes. Even the spirit refining realm cultivator was engulfed by the flames. Captain? The black-clothed man who used a rare treasure to suppress the 3 spirit refining cultivators was stunned. 2 spirit refining cultivators from their side died in a blink of an eye, especially after unleashing his flying sword to kill Zhu Zhen in an instant. Xinghui had already stepped forward and grasped the absolute yuan ring in his hand, storing it in his personal space. By the time he abruptly came to his senses, Xinghui's crimson dragon sword had already arrived in front of him with a blazing heat wave. Boom! Sparks flew everywhere. The middle-stage spirit refining cultivator was easily killed by Xinghui's sword. Even though he tried his best to retaliate, sending out a stream of earth qi that tore apart the flames from Xinghui's crimson dragon sword and left a wound on Xinghui's shoulder, this level of injury was nothing to Xinghui, who had a rank 4 recovery ability. Rumble! A violent roar came from the other rank 3 spirit refining cultivator's battlefield. The treasure that the black-clothed man took out was a rank 4 treasure, refined by a spirit qi unity realm cultivator. The earth qi of such a cultivator possessed a certain level of spirituality. Even without anyone controlling it, it still revolved around the 3 spirit refining cultivators as if it had a life of its own. As such, after Qing Su killed the 3 of them, the remaining 3 had yet to completely destroy the spiritual-filled earth qi. Xinghui did not waste his breath on these people. The flying sword that pierced through Zhu Zhen abruptly turned under the guidance of his sword intent and accelerated at full speed. With an ear-piercing whistle, it shot towards one of the spirit refining cultivators. The sword broke the sound barrier in the air, forming a circular wave of air visible to the naked eye. Not good, stop. We are Hyun Fan, the spirit refining cultivator who was hit by Xinghui's flying sword, saw that Xinghui had changed his target and was scared out of his wits. He immediately opened his mouth and shouted. However, the speed of his shout was still slower than the speed of the Qingxian sword. Blood splattered. Before he could finish his words, his head was pierced through by the flying sword. The impact of the sword tearing through the earth qi caused him to fly out. Before he landed, he was already dead. Flying sword. This speed, it's a rank 4 upper grade flying sword. Rank 5 upper grade spirit weapon. Rank 4 upper grade flying sword? The remaining 2 spirit refining cultivators stared at the flying sword that took away their comrade's life. Their eyes were filled with despair. Stop. Prince Xinghui, we were only hired by Hyun Fan to kill you. Please give us a way out. Xinghui's gaze swept across the 2 of them. I only need one of you alive. In the next moment, the scarlet dragon sword tore through the void and attacked like lightning. The friction between the sword and the air left behind a visible flame sword mark, as if a fire dragon had appeared. Damn it, I'll fight it out with you. Both of their eyes were filled with despair and anger. They roared and activated their earth qi to the extreme. However, before the 2 of them could receive the final blow from Xinghui, one of the 2 spirit refining cultivators attacked the other. A thunderous palm landed on the protective earth qi on the other's chest. The other spirit refining cultivator who was caught off guard was sent flying while vomiting blood. Coincidentally, he met with Xinghui's sword. Sila. The flames dissipated. The spirit refining cultivator who was killed by his comrade stared with his eyes wide open. His face was filled with unwillingness as he was killed by Xinghui's sword. Prince Xinghui, what do you want to ask? I, Su Sheng, dare not hide anything from you. It is difficult for us overseas cultivators to survive and cultivate. For the sake of cultivation, we have to embark on this path of no return. I hope that Prince Xinghui can be lenient and keep your promise and spare my life. The 2 spirit refining cultivators who killed his comrade, Su Sheng hurriedly threw away the rank 3 divine weapon in his hand and looked at Xinghui in horror, waiting for his final sentence. Qing Su glanced at him and surged with sword intent. With a turn, the Qingxian sword had already shot through the air and hovered before him. It slowly revolved around him like a satellite. Now, answer my questions. If the answer satisfies me, I will not kill you. Tsinghui looked at the two and said slowly, Yes. Prince Tsinghui, as long as we know, we will tell you everything. The two spirit refining cultivators hurriedly said, Let's start with you. Tsinghui turned to the man from the Heza Chamber of Commerce. What is the Heza Chamber of Commerce's plan? I know that they have other plans. President Guza of the Heza Chamber of Commerce actually wants to take all the benefits. Not only the fire spirit stone on you, Prince Tsinghui, but also the corpse of the semi-sacred beast Jun. When the president sent me to deal with Prince Tsinghui, he had already brought people to intercept the island lord's team. He had already spread the news and caused Hyun Fan to appear and clash with Prince Tsinghui. Thus, in the end, whether it is you, Prince Tsinghui, or the corpse of the semi-sacred beast Joing in the hands of the island lord, everyone will place their attention on Hyun Fan, thinking that he was the one who did it. The man's words caused the spirit-refining cultivator hired by Hyun Fan to be dumbfounded. Hyun Fan was actually a chess piece chosen by the Heza Chamber of Commerce? To be used as a scapegoat? The Heza Chamber of Commerce had a good idea. It seems that the 5 Spirit and Chi Unity Realm cultivators were also specially chosen? Yes. Among the 5 Spirit and Chi Unity Realm cultivators, one of them, Lady Yuzhen, is President Guza's lover. She is on the same side as President Guza. As for the other 4, they either do not have a strong need for the semi-sacred beast Jiuying, or they do not have enough wealth to join in the fun. These people were indeed carefully chosen by President Guza. Even Hyun Fan was a target chosen by President Guza. Looking at how skilled Guza is, he must have done this more than once. Yes, according to what I know, this is already the 3rd time. The first time was a secret cultivation method, the second time was a Great Sun Essence, this is the 3rd time, Great Sun Essence. Tsing Hui's eyes flashed. Are you talking about the Great Sun Essence refined by the Jinwu religion's higher-ups? Yes, that Great Sun Essence was stolen by a high-ranking deacon of the Jinwu religion who betrayed the religion. It is absolutely true. However, because this treasure is unique to the Jinwu religion, it is not easy to get rid of it. In addition, there are too few cultivators of the fire attribute overseas. Until now, no suitable buyer has been found. The man seemed to know what Tsinghui wanted to ask and hurriedly told him everything he knew about the Great Sun Essence. So now, where is the ambush location? There are not many sea routes from Shaoyang City to Dragon Elephant Island. Moreover, President Guza has already determined the direction of Dragon Elephant Island's warship. The best ambush location is Tri-Talon Island, an area formed by 3 small islands. When the warship approaches that area, President Guza will have the cultivators he has already bribed to destroy the warship's propulsion system and force it to land in Sankai Island waters. That will complete the ambush. Tri-Talon Island? The cultivator who claimed to have been hired by Hyun Fan paused slightly. Lord Hyun Fan said he would wait for me to kill him after I'm done. The rendezvous point will also be in Sankai Island waters. Very good. It seems that Guza wants to use Hyun Fan's power to exhaust Dragon Elephant Island's trump card, or perhaps the Heza Chamber of Commerce has hit the jackpot. Originally, they only wanted Hyun Fan to take the blame, but in the end, their plan became reality. As Tsinghui spoke, he looked at the two of them again. Tell me everything you know. In order to save their lives, the two of them did not dare to hide anything. Very quickly, they revealed all the information they knew. Overseas was different from inland. The cruel competitive environment caused the mobility of many overseas cultivators. Very few spirit-refining cultivators would be loyal to others. At best, it could only be considered as the weak relying on the strong. Just like Beihai City, when faced with danger, there were not many who were willing to die for him. Cultivators like Wu Yu who were completely loyal to their master were in the minority. After obtaining the information he wanted, Tsinghui glanced at the two restless people. First, he kept the treasures of the 12 spirit-refining cultivators. Then Xiao. The sword pierced through the air. Under the astonished gaze of the two, the Qingxian sword killed all the flying beasts that the cultivators rode. Prince Tsinghui, since I said that I would spare your lives, I will keep my word. However, to prevent you from spreading any information and spoiling my plan, you will temporarily stay on this island. You can leave only when you are rescued by a passing warship. After saying that, Tsing Hui's gaze faintly swept across one of the flying beasts that had been pierced through by his sword. It was obvious that it was not completely dead yet. Then he flew up and broke through the air with his sword. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared into the vast sea of clouds. Chapter 117. After Tsing Hui left, the spirit refining cultivator hired by Hyun Fan did not hesitate and brazenly attacked the man with a crippled arm. Although the man seemed to be prepared, his arm was crippled. True fire invaded his body and his battle prowess was reduced to less than 10%. In an instant he was heavily injured and killed by the spirit refining cultivator hired by Hyun Fan. After killing the spirit refining cultivator, the first thing he did was to find the bird that still had a breath left. He immediately gave it medicine and at the same time, used a secret technique to stimulate the bird's life force, allowing it to recover some of its vitality and fly up into the sky. Damn it, I wonder if the bird's life force can last until we reach Shaoyang Sea City, little bastard. You actually dared to put me in such a difficult situation and even wanted to rely on a rank 5 divine weapon to ambush Lord Hyun Fan? Courting death. When I reach Shaoyang Sea City, I will definitely let Lord Hyun Fan know about this. At that time, I will let you walk right into my trap, the man thought viciously, his eyes filled with cold killing intent. However, after the bird flew over 40 kilometers, it suddenly let out a painful wail. There seemed to be a cluster of sword chi hidden in its body that suddenly erupted, crushing its internal organs and causing it to fall straight to the ground. Not good, that little bastard actually left a hidden attack on the bird? A look of horror appeared in the man's eyes as he watched the bird fall into the sea with him. Plop! The terrifying impact made him spit out a mouthful of blood. Damn it! Even though he had released his earth energy to reduce the force of his fall, he still spat out a mouthful of blood when he fell into the sea. Damn it, 60 kilometers, a trace of resentment appeared on the man's face. But very quickly, he thought of something and the resentment was replaced by fear. See, it had always been the world of the sea beasts. In the sea, not to mention a spirit refining cultivator, even a spirit chi unity realm cultivator could be trapped to death by ordinary sea beasts, die of exhaustion or die of exhaustion. Moreover, the outer sea was different from ordinary seas. There were countless ferocious sea beasts living there. Not long after the man fell into the sea, a few beasts had already surrounded him. Get lost. Get out of my way. The man roared furiously. Streams of astral energy burst out and killed the surrounding sea beasts in the blink of an eye. However, that did not stop the sea monsters from surrounding them. Instead, more and more sea monsters surrounded them due to the smell of blood. Occasionally, they could even see a terrifying monster that was equivalent to an immortal-level human. No. The man screamed in horror as he continued to shoot out his astral energy. The blood of the sea beasts quickly dyed the sea red. However, not only was there no joy in his heart, his fear grew as more and more ferocious beasts rushed over, almost causing his reason to collapse. At this moment he finally understood why Tsing Hui had purposely left a bird behind. This bird represented a chance of survival. For this chance, the two spirit refining cultivators would have to fight to the death to determine the victor. However, even if he won in the end, it would be of no use. Tsing Hui had left a stream of true energy in the bird, and it would explode at a certain time. Unless he listened to Tsing Hui and obediently waited on the island for a passing warship to save them, no matter what the result was, he would definitely die. Understanding this, the man's heart was completely consumed by fear and anger. Especially when the rank 2 sea beasts began to appear and surround him, he could not help but roar in anger. Tsing Hui! I curse you! I curse you to be torn into pieces by Hyun Fan. I'll wait for you. Hyun Fan will soon send you to accompany me. Amidst the mournful scream, the man's body turned into a pool of blood and was devoured by the rank 2 sea beasts that were rushing over. The green ruins flew through the air on his sword, whistling towards the region of Tritalon Island as quickly as he could. Sankai Island waters was about 1,000 kilometers away from Shaoyang Sea. It was neither far nor near. With the warship speed, it would take about 3 to 4 hours to reach there. Ching Su rode the Gale Giant Eagle to this island and killed the 14 spirit refining cultivators, which took him quite a bit of time. Coupled with the fact that he was traveling in a different direction, even if he flew at full speed with an average speed of 500 kilometers per hour, the time to reach Tritalon Island was still very tight. 2 hours passed in the blink of an eye. When Tsing Hui arrived at the Sankai Island waters, a fierce battle had already broken out. 2 warships had crashed near the Tritalon Island. Raging flames continued to burn on the warships and had yet to be extinguished. Many people could be seen screaming near the shore as they swam towards the island at the fastest speed to avoid the sea beasts. Fortunately, the sea beasts living near the shore were not strong. Otherwise, those unfortunate cultivators who fell into the sea would only be able to survive at most 10%. Tsing Hui rode on his sword and swept past these people. Soon, his gaze landed on one of the islands. On that island, several powerful auras were constantly rising and colliding. The battle had already reached its climax. Hyun Fan, Guza, the other female spirit and Chi Unity Realm cultivator, is Lady Yuzhen, who has allied with Guza. Tsing Hui's gaze swept past the 3 powerful cultivators. Among the 3 spirit and Chi Unity Realm cultivators, Hyun Fan seemed to have suffered heavy injuries. Even if his strength was above Guza and Lady Yuzhen, he was still struggling under the pressure of the 2 spirit and Chi Unity Realm cultivators. Moreover, Gu Jia and Lady True Yuzhen clearly had the intention of completely annihilating Xian Fan. Their attacks could be said to be merciless. The battle between the 3 of them could be said to be extremely tragic. Seems like I'm not too late? Tsing Hui's indifferent voice came from the void. Hyun Fan, Guza, and Lady Yuzhen, who were fighting fiercely, were startled at the same time. They could not help but look towards Tsing Hui, who was in the void. Tsing Hui? That's a flying sword. This brat actually has a flying sword? Why would he appear here? I've already sent people to kill him. He should be dead by now. Why would he? The 3 spirit and Chi Unity Realm cultivators seemed to have thought of something at the same time. Their expressions changed and they immediately retreated, ending the life and death battle. Tsing Hui stepped on his sword and glanced at the spirit refining cultivator who bought the corpse of his semi-holy beast Jiuying for 4,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones. His eyes were filled with regret. He originally wanted to use this spirit refining cultivator to establish a connection with Dragon Elephant Island. In the future, he would be able to exchange for more peerless grade spirit stones. But now there was no more chance. The spirit refining cultivator's head was separated from his body. Brat, it seems that we have underestimated you. You obviously have an expert behind you. Otherwise, with your strength alone, you wouldn't be able to do anything to the hunting team I sent out. Don't try to act mysterious here. Invite the expert behind you out and let us see him. If the expert you invite is an existence ranked in the top 300 of the Divine Dragon list, I, Hyun Fan, will immediately apologize to you. Hyun Fan stared at Tsing Hui, who was in the void. His gaze swept across the flying sword below his feet and a trace of greed flashed in his eyes. That's right, Tsing Hui. Perhaps there is some misunderstanding between us. However, a straightforward person does not resort to insinuations. Since you appeared here, I guess you have the intention to negotiate, right? Since that's the case, why don't you invite the expert behind you out and we can sit together and discuss how to resolve this misunderstanding? Guza said in a deep voice. Compared to Hyun Fan, who was still greedy, he had already faintly felt that something was amiss. As he spoke, he raised his guard. Expert Tsing Hui's cold gaze swept across Hyun Fan, Guza, and Lady Yuzhen. The 3 of them had gone through a series of battles and were no longer in their peak condition. There was no need to talk too much. He already knew what he needed to know. What he needed to do now was to put an end to this matter once and for all. Shio. In the next moment, Tsing Hui's figure flew and shot towards Guza, Hyun Fan, and Lady Yuzhen like a ray of light. How dare you! Seeing that Tsing Hui actually dared to attack the 3 divine Chi Unison realm experts with his true energy realm cultivation, Lady Yuzhen shouted sternly, I don't care what kind of expert is behind you. Once I capture you alive, I will naturally be able to interrogate you one by one. As soon as she finished speaking, A rope-like divine weapon appeared in her hand and flew towards Tsing Hui to bind him. Her target was the Tier 4 flying sword below his feet. Although they were all in the divine Qi Unison realm, they could only glide or walk on the waves for a short period of time. In the end, they could not be like the Green Hell realm experts who could enter and exit the void and move unhindered. If they wanted to capture Tsing Hui, the first thing they needed to do was to control his flying sword. This was to prevent him from retreating when he was no match for them. Rumble. Facing the rope that Lady Yuzhen was using to bind him, Tsing Hui's spiritual world shone brightly. The speed of his flying sword suddenly increased sharply, bringing along an ear-piercing explosion as it shot towards Lady Yuzhen. At the same time, a majestic and terrifying aura crazily rose from his bodied divine art. The Crimson Dragon Sword's sword light, under the amplification of the divine art, swept out a thunderous might and fiercely collided with Lady Yuzhen. Lady Yuzhen originally wanted to laugh at Tsing Hui for overestimating himself when she saw him charging towards her. No matter how powerful a true Qi realm cultivator was, he could at most contend against a spirit-refining realm cultivator. How could he cross two realms and fight against a divine Qi Unison realm expert? However, when the two figures with surging true Qi collided, her face immediately became incomparably alarmed. This is Rumble. The Qi wave exploded. Tsing Hui brought along the might of the Crimson Dragon Sword and fiercely slashed at Lady Yuzhen's rope divine weapon. A terrifying heat wave exploded on the tip of the Crimson Dragon Sword, bringing along a destructive power that turned Lady Yuzhen's rope into ashes. The sharp edge of the sword continued to crush down, destroying the protective true Qi on the surface of Lady Yuzhen's body. Before her widened eyes could be filled with fear, the deadly sword light had already collapsed, die. Amidst a mournful and terrified scream, Lady Yuzhen's entire body was crushed into pieces by the Crimson Dragon Sword's terrifying sword Qi. Chapter 118. Yuzhen? How is this possible? Seeing that Lady Yuzhen was killed by Tsing Hui in an instant, Guza and Hyun Fan, who thought that Tsing Hui was relying on the expert behind him, opened their eyes wide. Level 5 Divine Weapon. Level 5 Divine Weapon. He actually has a Level 5 Divine Weapon in his hands. Also, the power that erupted from his sword just now is already not inferior to a Green Netherworld Realm expert. In terms of attack, he is already not inferior to any Green Netherworld Realm expert in the slightest. How could this be? Hyun Fan immediately felt a chill run up his spine and straight to his brain. However, Tsing Hui would not stop just because of their shock. He slashed Madame True Yuzhen with a single slash from the heavens with an unstoppable force. Then, he turned around and the Qingxian sword beneath his feet vibrated slightly. His entire body once again shot out like a shooting star and arrived in front of Xian Fan in the blink of an eye. Qing Su showed no mercy at all to this expert of the evil path who had completely messed up his auction. Hyun Fan's reaction was extremely fast. Although he was extremely shocked by the death of Lady Yuzhen, in the face of Tsing Hui's sword, the battle saber in his hand drew a bright arc and fiercely slashed at the Crimson Dragon Sword, vainly trying to force Tsing Hui to retreat. Bang! Sparks flew. Tsing Hui's sword seemed to have paused for a moment. However, Tsing Hui's talent in swordsmanship had increased, so how could he make such a mistake so easily? The moment his sword was blocked, his entire body suddenly rotated and the sword made a 180-degree horizontal cut, bringing along a heat wave that distorted space, once again slashing at Hyun Fan's body. The sword turned into a raging fire as it rotated, sealing off all the space that Hyun Fan could dodge with the force of a prairie fire. Thunder flash. At the critical moment, Hyun Fan roared and his body seemed to have turned into a bolt of lightning, instantly widening the distance between himself and Tsing Hui. He escaped from the raging fire and said, "Guza, the two of us have to work together. Otherwise, with his flying sword, we won't even have a chance to escape. In the end, both of us will die here." Although Guza was still fighting fiercely with Hyun Fan just a second ago, ambitious and ruthless people like them who could sacrifice anything for their own interests naturally judged the danger in front of them. Just as Hyun Fan had said, if they did not work together to stop Tsing Hui, the two of them would not be able to escape death in the end. Work together. Gu Jia immediately responded, and a layer of scales seemed to appear all over his body. Then, with a wave of his right hand, two gloves completely forged from white bones covered his arms, making it seem as if his hands were equipped with white bone battle armor. Kill! Following Guza's low roar, he had already swept out a monstrous aura. It was like a towering Mount Tai was charging at Tsing Hui with all his strength. Every step he took on the ground was like the birth of an ancient ferocious beast, causing the ground to shake continuously. Even the space around him seemed to have been distorted to a certain extent, becoming incomparably heavy. Tsing Hui, who was about to chase after Hyun Fan again, felt the biting cold danger coming from Guza. The tip of his sword turned, and a stream of light flashed. Before Guza could use the charge to raise his momentum to the limit, the Crimson Dragon sword carried the power of a falling meteor and brazenly pierced down. Rumble! When Tsing Hui's Crimson Dragon sword and Guza's bone fist gloves collided, it was like the collision between Earth and Mars. A terrifying shockwave blasted out along with a dazzling flame. The sword chi that exploded from the Crimson Dragon sword instantly tore the bone fist gloves on Guza's body to pieces. The remaining sword chi swept up Guza's arms without slowing down, tearing them into a bloody mess. However, the majestic rebounding force that was emitted from Guja's body was like a tempestuous wave that surged and pounded against his body, causing him to feel as though he had been hit by a speeding train. His body shot out like a cannonball, and his internal organs were already in a mess in the air as he spat out fresh blood. Hyun Fan, who was originally being suppressed by Tsing Hui and was even being chased after, seized this opportunity and once again displayed his lightning-like speed. He actually caught up to Tsing Hui in an instant, and the battle saber in his hand slashed down with lightning. The friction between the blade and the air caused an ear-piercing thunderstorm to erupt in the void. Just the air pressure from the slash of the saber had already caused the ground behind Tsing Hui to tear open several trenches. If Tsing Hui did not have a flying sword in his hand, Guza's almost crippled hands would have created this opportunity for Hyun Fan to attack, which could have seriously injured him. But unfortunately, just as Hyun Fan's thunderous saber was about to land on Tsing Hui, the Qingxian sword under Tsing Hui's feet suddenly burst forth, carrying his body that was flying backward to withstand the impact of the retreat. In a way that did not conform to the laws of physics, he avoided Hyun Fan's fatal saber. Not only that, after avoiding Hyun Fan's saber, Tsing Hui's body trembled slightly. Immediately after, the speed of his sword kinesis flight burst forth again. His entire body was like an arrow that had left the bow, shooting towards Hyun Fan. And the arrowhead of this arrow was the 5th-level upper magical weapon in his hand, the Crimson Dragon sword. Not good. Hyun Fan was a veteran of hundreds of battles. The first thing he sensed was danger. With a loud roar, he actually turned his thunderous saber around and slashed towards the incoming Tsing Hui. However, Tsing Hui's explosive speed with the help of the Qingxian sword was simply too fast. It was really like a flying meteor. A second before his saber was about to land on Tsing Hui's body, his Crimson Dragon sword had already pierced through Tsing Hui's heart. Not only that, the powerful momentum caused Tsing Hui to crash into Hyun Fan's body. His bent knee heavily hit Hyun Fan's head, causing blood to spurt out in an instant. Crack! The sound of bones shattering resounded through the air. Hyun Fan's body smashed heavily onto the ground from this collision. Dust flew everywhere and a ditch was formed on the ground. Even though the powerful aura of the unity of divine Qi realm prevented him from dying immediately, his heart was pierced through and his head was almost smashed into pieces. His eyes were unfocused and his breathing was weak. Tsing Hui's body leaped and landed directly in front of Hyun Fan. I, Hyun Fan, have roamed the seas, relying on a pair of eyes that have been tempered thousands of times. I have never offended anyone that I can't afford to offend. Today, I actually made a mistake. I thought that I had my eyes on a weak sheep that could be bullied easily. In the end, I didn't expect that you were actually a ferocious tiger that could choose its prey. If I had known earlier, I definitely wouldn't have been tempted by Guza to get involved in this muddy water. Hyun Fan's eyes were filled with a trace of regret. Sing Hui didn't have the time to listen to his nonsense. With a thrust of his sword, he pierced through his head on the spot. Unity of Divine Qi Realm? In front of Sing Hui, who wielded the Crimson Dragon Sword and performed the divine art, he was easily crushed and killed. After killing Hyun Fan, Sing Hui's gaze suddenly fell on Guza, whose arms were almost completely crippled. At this moment, Guza was bursting forth with his fastest speed, rushing towards a bird. He had already flipped over and mounted the bird. However, before he could ride the bird and escape, the sword light of the Qingxian sword had already pierced through the bird's body with an ear-piercing explosion, killing it on the spot. Not only that, the Qingxian sword spun and shot out again, aiming at Guza's forehead. Guza's powerful battle instincts allowed him to capture the trajectory of the Qingxian sword at the critical moment. With a roar from his mouth, his body suddenly expanded by 1 meter, transforming into a terrifying giant. He then raised his right hand that was dripping with blood and fiercely struck at the trajectory of the Qingxian sword. Bang! Sing Hui instantly felt his spiritual world tremble violently. In an instant, he almost completely lost connection with the Qingxian sword. Fortunately, his spirit was tyrannical and had already reached the 46th level. In the next moment, the Qingxian sword had already shot out explosively, piercing through Guza's right fist. With an unstoppable force, it pierced through his entire arm and then shot out from his back. The huge impact caused his extremely sturdy body to fly backward and crash onto the ground. Buzz buzz. The Qingxian sword spun slightly and hovered in front of Sing Hui. Sing Hui glanced at the body of the Qingxian sword and actually discovered that there were cracks on this upper-grade Tier 4 flying sword. It could be seen how ferocious the power of Guza's attack just now was. As expected of the Unity of Divine Qi Realm expert on the Divine Dragon ranking. You really have some tricks up your sleeves. Unfortunately, with a wave of his hand, Sing Hui immediately kept the damaged Qingxian sword into his personal storage. Then, he held the sword with one hand and forced his way towards Guza. Guza's left hand was severely injured, and his right hand was pierced through by the Qingxian sword. He was completely crippled. In addition to the injuries from the previous battle with Hyun Fan, his strength was already 70% to 80% crippled. Seeing Sing Hui closing in, Guza's expression changed slightly. He quickly said, "Prince Sing Hui, there is no hatred that cannot be resolved in this world. Today, I have fallen into your hands and am no match for you. I admit defeat. As long as you can let me live, I will do whatever you want." Sing Hui was expressionless as he walked forward step by step. Cold sweat suddenly appeared on Guza's forehead. After a while, he seemed to have thought of something and quickly said, "You cultivate fire attribute true Qi, and the quality of your true Qi is extremely high. If it wasn't for the fact that you once offended a direct disciple of the Jinwu religion, I would almost think that you cultivate the Great Sun Golden Crow technique of the Jinwu religion, and the true Qi you condense is also divine-grade Golden Crow true Qi. I have a Great Sun essence in my hand. This item was refined by a top expert of the Jinwu religion and is extremely precious. I am willing to give this item to you in exchange for Prince Sing Hui to spare my life. I swear to the heavens that from today onwards, I will never dare to provoke Prince Sing Hui. I believe that after I bring your head to the Heza Chamber of Commerce, someone will offer the Great Sun essence for me." Sing Hui said. "Prince Sing Hui, if you are willing to let me go, I am willing to pledge my allegiance to you and work for you. After all, I am an overlord of the Spirit and Qi Unison realm, and I have a great reputation in the overseas region. You have come to the overseas region alone, but if you have the help of a Spirit and Qi Unison realm expert like me, you will definitely be able to achieve great things. You might even be able to unify the overseas islands in the future, and rule the mainland as the king of the overseas region." Shio. Chapter 119. The simple way was to get things done once and for all. Sing Hui slowly pulled out the Crimson Dragon sword from between Guza's brows. Even at the moment of his death, Guza's eyes were still filled with regret and unwillingness. Even at the moment of his death, he was still wondering if he, Hyun Fan, and even Dragon Elephant Island had all been tricked by Tsing Hui using the corpse of a half-holy Jiuing. In the end, he had obtained all the benefits from the three parties and become the biggest winner. Unfortunately, he would never get the answer to this question. Tsing Hui's gaze swept across Lady Yuzhen, Guza, and Hyun Fan, and collected their divine weapons and other items. These people were all experts at the unity of divine Qi realm, and all of them were using fourth-ranked divine weapons. Although their weapons were of the lower grade of the fourth tier, they were still considered a wealthy group in the outer seas. One had to know that only a small number of unity of divine Qi realm experts in the outer seas were using upper grade of the third-tier divine weapons. Apart from the ordinary divine weapons, Tsing Hui also found some defensive armors on them. However, the best quality one was Guza's fourth-grade armor. This armor would manifest dragon scales when vital energy was poured into it to protect the wearer. It was almost immune to attacks below the 30th grade. Unfortunately, this armor could not display any decent power in front of Tsing Hui's 5th-grade upper-grade Crimson Dragon Sword. It was broken in one strike. The Virokana essence. Sure enough, he didn't bring it with him. Hyun Fan's treasure is also not with him. Tsing Hui counted the spoils of war and turned his gaze back to the burning warships. As his figure flickered, he soon appeared in a warship belonging to Dragon Elephant Island. This warship was severely damaged and had fallen into the sea. The ordinary people on it had either been eaten by the nearby sea beasts or had fled to the other two islands of Tritalon Island, far away from the fighting range of the three experts of the unity of divine Qi realm. They were afraid that they would lose their lives in the aftermath of the battle. Tsing Hui searched the battleship for a while, and soon found the corpse of the semi-holy beast Jiuing in the storeroom. He waved his hand and stored it in his personal space. I don't have enough personal space. I'll increase my personal space when I reach the next level of chaos. As Tsing Hui spoke, he scanned the battleship and found another 6,000 supreme-grade fire spirit stones. 10,000. This was probably the total price that Dragonesque Elephant Island Lord had paid for the corpse of the semi-holy beast Jiuing. Unfortunately, due to Hyun Fan's interference, they only paid a mere 4,000 to successfully obtain the auction item. My golden crow true Qi has almost reached the fire spirit rock of perfection. If I can obtain the essence of the great sun, there's hope for my golden crow true Qi to break through to the Qi refinement realm before my crimson yang true Qi. After receiving the 6,000 supreme grade fire spirit stones, Tsing Hui did not waste any more time on the battleship. The battleship itself and the other items on the battleship were definitely worth a lot. Altogether, they were worth a few grade 3 god weapons. However, it was too troublesome to collect all these items. Moreover, Tsing Hui was eager to obtain the essence of the Great Sun from the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. He was eager to head to the Hiza Chamber of Commerce to obtain the essence of the Great Sun naturally. He did not have much time to waste. After storing some of the more valuable items into his personal space, he once again rode on his sword and flew towards Si Shaoyang City. He covered a distance of 1,000 kilometers in 2 hours. Accompanied by the whistling sound of flowing light, he landed in Si Shaoyang City. In a flash, he disappeared into the crowd without a trace. Flying sword? That's a flying sword. Someone actually rode on a flying sword? Flying swords, even the weakest flying sword is a grade 4 lower grade god weapon. Its value is comparable to a grade 4 upper grade god weapon. In the entire sea region, those who possess flying swords are all overlords ranked in the top 200 of the Divine Dragon ranking. Could it be that some overlord-level character has arrived in our Si Shaoyang City? What does our Si Shaoyang City have that is worth such a character personally coming? That flying sword rider just now. I think he looks familiar. He seems to be that Tsing Hui who auctioned off the corpse of the half-sacred beast Jiuing in the Hiza Chamber of Commerce not long ago. Tsing Hui? What a joke. A true energy realm cultivator has a flying sword? Are you still dreaming? Is that so? Maybe I really saw wrongly. All kinds of discussions could be heard from the place where Tsing Hui landed. Not long after, a Divine Energy Unity Realm elder from the Elder Council personally brought people to inquire. However, as soon as Tsing Hui arrived in Si Shaoyang City, he immediately used the crowd to cover his tracks and disappeared without a trace. Even if that Divine Energy Unity Realm expert wanted to investigate who had come on a flying sword, he couldn't find anything. After entering Si Shaoyang City, Tsing Hui went to the Heiza Chamber of Commerce. Where is your Vice President Long Yufeng? The person in charge of receiving Tsing Hui was obviously not a core member of the Heiza Chamber of Commerce. He did not understand the schemes of the upper echelons of the Heiza Chamber of Commerce. He only knew that Tsing Hui had made a big deal in the Chamber of Commerce. He immediately led him to the VIP lounge. Prince Tsing Hui, please wait for a moment. We will invite President Long over. After the receptionist left, not long after, some messy footsteps could be heard from outside the VIP lounge. Tsing Hui slightly sensed that there were 4 spirit-refining realm cultivators hiding outside the door. As the door of the VIP lounge was pushed open, Long Yufeng stared at Tsing Hui in disbelief. You actually, after a moment, he seemed to have thought of something and slightly relaxed. The one that left Si Shaoyang City was just a clone that you used to attract attention, right? In reality, you have been staying in Si Shaoyang City all this time? Tsing Hui did not speak and directly threw out 2 items. One of them was Lady Yuzhen's personal earring, which was a special rank 3 treasure. It could make the wearer feel refreshed and had a slight resistance against inner demons during cultivation. The other item came from the Heiza Chamber of Commerce's President Guza. It was a ring which was also a rank 3 treasure. It could increase the wearer's strength by 10%. Although these 2 treasures were only at the 3rd level, due to them being special treasures, they were extremely valuable. To those who needed them, they were even more valuable than a 4th-level divine weapon. Thus, Madame True Jade and Guja often carried them close to their bodies. Seeing these 2 items, Long Yufeng's eyes widened and a trace of panic flashed across his face. After a while, he suppressed the shock in his heart and forced himself to be calm. Prince Tsing Hui, what do you mean by this? I believe you recognize these 2 items. I will not waste time. Since I dared to bring the corpse of the half-holy beast Juing to auction, I naturally have the confidence to do so. Do you think the corpse of a rank 4 half-holy beast Juing is so easy to pick up? Don't tell me you really think that I don't have any experts behind me? If it was before Tsing Hui took out these 2 items, Long Yufeng would naturally not care about what he said. However, after seeing these 2 treasures that Lady Yuzhen and President Guza treasured like their lives, he already knew that the biggest backer of the Heiza Chamber of Commerce was most likely dead. And the culprit, it was very likely to be the expert behind Tsing Hui in front of him. Thinking of this, Long Yufeng's forehead immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Standing in front of Tsing Hui, he faintly trembled. Tsing Hui, Prince Tsing Hui. I don't know anything. I'm just a small figure who acts as an assistant. I'm just following orders. Long Yufeng tried to force himself to calm down, but the words that came out of his mouth were trembling. It was obvious that he was extremely terrified in his heart. All right, I only need 2 items. The essence of the Great Sun and all the fire attribute high-grade spirit stones of the Heiza Chamber of Commerce. If you can give these items to me, I don't intend to ask what the Heiza Chamber of Commerce will do next. If you can't take them out, Tsing Hui swept a glance outside the VIP lounge. You're not the only vice president of the Heiza Chamber of Commerce. Someone will be able to take them out. Yes. The essence of the Great Sun? I'm President Guza's confidant. I know very well where he hid the essence of the Great Sun. I'll go get it personally. In addition, I'll immediately order people to collect all the high-grade fire attribute spirit stones of the Heiza Chamber of Commerce. I won't let Prince Tsing Hui return disappointed. Take me there. Long Yufeng did not dare to disobey and quickly responded, yes. Don't play tricks. Even if I kill you now, the Shaoyang Chamber of Commerce can't do anything to me. If you don't believe me, you can try. As soon as Tsing Hui finished speaking, the Qingxian sword burst out and stabbed in front of Long Yufeng in an instant. The speed was so fast that it far exceeded Long Yufeng's reaction. When he came back to his senses, the Qingxian sword was only half a centimeter away from his throat. He was so frightened that he screamed and quickly retreated. "Don't worry, as long as you bring me what I want, I won't kill you." Xing Hui waved his hand and the flying sword disappeared without a trace. Flying sword? Long Yufeng's eyes widened. At this moment he no longer doubted that there was an expert behind Xing Hui. Without the backing of an expert, how could he have obtained a supreme treasure like the flying sword? Without the backing of an expert, how could he have cultivated saint-grade true energy? Without the backing of an expert, how could he have killed a fourth-order half-saint beast, Jiaoying? Without the backing of an expert, how could President Gu Jia and Madame True Jade have suffered such a crushing defeat? Moreover, with the flying sword in hand, Xing Hui could really come and go as he pleased. Shaoyang Sea City had dozens of Spirit Chi Unity Realm elders in charge of maintaining order, but as long as he was on the flying sword, he could easily escape from the elders' pursuit. Relying on the flying beasts under the elders, they could not catch up to Xing Hui's flying speed. President? What happened? At this moment, the door of the VIP lounge opened and two spirit-refining cultivators barged in. They were the ones that Long Yufeng was prepared for. Seeing them, Long Yufeng immediately shouted, Nothing, quickly go out. The two spirit-refining cultivators looked at Long Yufeng suspiciously, but seeing that Xing Hui, a true Qi cultivator, did not seem to be a threat to their vice president, they slowly retreated from the lounge. Seems like they have prepared a backup plan. Unfortunately, if I want to leave, these people will not be able to stop me. Alright, where is the Great Sun Essence? Bring me there. Naturally, this way please. Prince Xing Hui, this way please. Long Yufeng did not dare to disobey and immediately led Xing Hui to the location where the Great Sun Essence was kept. The location of the Great Sun Essence was not in the Hiza Chamber of Commerce, but in an ordinary residence on the volcanic island below Shaoyang Sea City. The people who lived on the volcanic island were usually the lowest-level cultivators in Shaoyang Sea City. The two people living in the residence were only in the marrow-cleansing realm. No matter who saw them, they would not think that they would have any decent treasures. Chapter 120. President Gu's sure is scheming. Xing Hui said indifferently, Prince Xing Hui, you flatter me. Please come in. Long Yufeng said and brought him to a storage room inside the residence. The first floor of the storage room was filled with a large amount of wine. It looked like a wine cellar. Ordinary wine was brewed inside, and cultivators would not be interested in it. However, if one was confused by the first floor of the storage room and left directly, they would miss out on the real treasure. There was actually a second floor in the storage room. Under Long Yufeng's lead, a secret room that had been specially treated to conceal all energy fluctuations appeared in front of them. The moment Xing Hui stepped into the secret room, the Chaos Temple's notification sounded. Discovered Dao Vessel. Dao Rhyme Value 3. Do you want to fuse it? Qing Su's eyes swiveled about, and his gaze landed on one of the small bronze statues at the first possible moment. Dao Vessel with 3 Dao Rhyme. Long Yufeng saw Xing Hui staring at the bronze statue and hurriedly said, Prince Xing Hui, if you like it, you can take it. What is this? When Long Yufeng heard Qing Su's question, Chen Si thought about it for quite a while before replying, This is a wondrous item that the president obtained from a true Qi cultivator a few years ago. The president said that this item is extremely valuable, and he can sell it for an astronomical price if he meets a suitable person. However, the president never mentioned why exactly. I don't know either. Strange item, Qing Su understood when he heard that. Guza clearly understood the value of this Dao vessel. To a son of chaos, this item could be sold for a sky-high price. However, different sons of chaos could offer different prices for items that could carry the Dao. Just like a spirit-refining cultivator, with a bit of Dao aura, they could only take out a rank 3 divine weapon. But for those at the peak of the immortal level, let alone rank 3 divine weapons, even rank 4, rank 5, or even rank 6 divine weapons, they would be willing to exchange for them. At most, it would depend on whose method of exchange was better. Guza understood this very well. Therefore, he had been waiting for a powerful and reputable top expert to come to the Cloud Wilderness to purchase the Dao vessel item. Powerful cultivation meant that they had a lot of treasures on them. As for credibility, in that case, he wouldn't have to worry about the other party getting greedy and killing him for his treasures. However, before he could put this Tao vessel to use, it had already benefited Xing Hui. 3 Taoist rhymes. If used well, it can be quite useful. After all, the Azure Mystic Sect master once used a 10th grade divine weapon to exchange for 1 Taoist rhyme. The value of this item cannot be measured by ordinary means. As Qing Su said that, he directly stowed the bronze statue away. "I'll be taking this." Long Yufeng did not dare to disobey. It is its honor to be valued by Prince Xing Hui. "Where's the essence of the sun?" "It's here." As Long Yufeng spoke, he gestured with his hand and brought him to a jade platform in the innermost part of the room. There were a total of 3 boxes on the jade platform. One of them was a yellow treasure box. Before Xing Hui touched it, he could already feel the surging heat from it. Immediately, he took a step forward and opened the yellow box. An amber-like gemstone that shone with scorching light appeared right before him. Absorbing it slightly, Qing Su could already feel the true qi of the golden crow within him become restless, slowly pushing towards perfection once more. The essence of the sun is the best item for cultivating the great sun golden crow technique. It is equivalent to the foundation of the Jin Wu religion. If not for the difficulty in producing the essence of the sun, which limits the progress of the Jin Wu religion's cultivators, the Jin Wu religion might even replace the fortune gate and become the #1 holy ground in the eastern wilderness. Satisfied, Xing Hui kept the essence of the sun. He had just broken through to the great success realm of true qi, and still needed time to stabilize this small realm. Furthermore, compared to swallowing the essence of the sun to push his qi to perfection, he preferred to use the fire spirit stone to cultivate his qi to perfection and then use the essence of the sun to break through. "What's in the remaining 2 treasure boxes?" Xing Hui asked. "I don't know. Although I'm President Guza's most trusted aide, I was only allowed to enter this storage room because I helped President Guza obtain the essence of the sun. All right, you can leave now." "Yes." Even though Qing Su only seemed to be at the realm of true qi, coupled with his Saint-grade true qi and 4th-grade flying sword, he was still afraid to disobey. He left the storage room quickly. Xing Hui did not open the 2 boxes to take a closer look. With a wave of his hand, all the treasures that Guza, the president of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce, had collected over the past few decades were all stored in his personal storage space. His personal storage space, which was already cramped due to the Jiuying's corpse, was now filled to the brim. The value of the Tao aura is half. In another month, the level of the chaos will rise to level 18 and then I can expand the space. Qing Su glanced through the storage room. To prevent others from guessing that it was his personal space, he directly took out a quaking bomb he had obtained from the battleship of Dragon Elephant Island. After calculating the fuse, he ignited it and tossed it into the basement. Prince Xing Hui, when he saw Qing Su come out, Long Yufeng went up to him in a hurry. "I put some gadgets in there. You'd better leave as soon as possible. Otherwise, not only will you be in danger, but you won't be able to explain yourself when the Shaoyang Sea City investigates," Qing Su said to Long Yufeng. When Long Yufeng's face changed drastically, he had already flown out of the room. Afterwards, he drew his flying sword, which whistled through the air and pierced the sky in the blink of an eye. "Damn it!" Long Yufeng cursed and immediately followed Xing Hui out of the house with the fastest speed. Almost at the same time as he leaped out of the house, a loud rumbling sound suddenly came from underground. The entire house seemed to have been overturned by a terrifying force from underground. Countless stone fragments and layers of soil were blasted into the air. The violent vibrating force swept out from the house, forming a shockwave visible to the naked eye. All the buildings within a 30-meter radius were torn apart and collapsed. Then, the shockwave swept out 100 meters away without slowing down, causing the glass and porcelain of the houses in the area to shatter. Even the cultivators who were hundreds of meters away could clearly feel the tremors. "Bastard!" Long Yufeng's eyes were full of anger, but looking at Xing Hui who had already disappeared into the vast sea of clouds, he couldn't do anything. In addition, The violent vibration here had attracted more and more practitioners of Shaoyang Sea City to look in this direction. In order to avoid getting into trouble, he hurriedly escaped with the fastest speed. He didn't even have time to check if there were any treasures left in the destroyed storage room. Xinghui didn't think that destroying the storage room could hide the fact that he had taken away all the treasures inside, but he didn't mind. As long as he wasn't unlucky enough to meet a peak immortal stage practitioner who desperately wanted to prepare a son of chaos for their juniors, a low-level son of chaos comparable to a divine chi unification stage practitioner might not attract too much attention, especially in a small and remote place like the Eastern Wilderness. Swish. Xinghui's sword kinesis flight was naturally much faster than a battleship. However, while sword kinesis flight was 2 to 3 times faster than a battleship, it consumed a lot of true chi. The Golden Crow true chi had a unique advantage in killing, but it wasn't known for its recovery ability. As a result, he could only fly and stop for nearly 20,000 kilometers. His efficiency was even slower than a battleship flying 24 hours a day. Speed is indeed a big problem, and in terms of speed, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Kunpeng bloodline is the true king. This bloodline talent not only has innate talent that other divine beast bloodlines can't compare to in the early stages, but in the later stages, it's said that it can even touch space and smoothly step into the realm of space. Xinghui pondered for a moment. Perhaps, when he reached the spirit-refining realm and cultivated divine-grade stellar chi, he could enter the Sky Dome realm and obtain the backing of the Sky Dome realm. Perhaps he could consider joining the Hunyuan Heaven Sect? Perhaps he could get his hands on the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's cultivation technique? Even if he hadn't awakened the Kunpeng bloodline and couldn't bring out the full power of the Black Hole Sutra in his hands, it was still a divine scripture and could more or less help his movement technique. After a while, Xinghui shook his head and threw this unrealistic idea to the back of his mind. If he joined the Hunyuan Heaven Sect, who knew how many years it would take to obtain the Black Hole Sutra? He couldn't afford to wait. Time passed. It took Xinghui a full 4 days to return to North Sea City. North Sea City's spaceport was currently bustling with activity. Large birds were transporting valuable goods to a large, specially mounted battleship. The battleship was densely packed with several hundred guards, including the remaining spirit-refining experts of North Sea City. Not long after Xinghui landed in the North Sea City Lord's residence, someone sensed him and quickly ran over. "Upper Foreign Elder Xinghui? The City Lord invites you in." Xinghui glanced at the guard and nodded. When he arrived at the City Lord's courtyard, he happened to run into Wu Yu and Dan Taiyu, who were also rushing in the same direction. Seeing Xinghui, the two were pleasantly surprised. "Upper Foreign Elder Xinghui, you're fine. That's great." Xinghui smiled. "Naturally, I use some small tricks to deceive their eyes and ears. It's good that you're fine. Father has something to discuss with you." Xinghui nodded. The three of them quickly arrived at Dan Tating's study room. Seeing Xinghui, Dan Tating revealed a smile. "Upper Foreign Elder Xinghui, you're here. We just received good news. Blood Lord Hyun Fan attacked Dragon Elephant Island's battleship. Fortunately, at the crucial moment, people from the Hiza Chamber of Commerce assisted. However, Blood Lord Hyun Fan's cultivation is shocking. In the end, he used some unknown method to perish together with the people from the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. Hehe. It sounds nice, but I reckon that it's just a trick of the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. However, there should be a stronger expert eyeing them and finally caught them in one fell swoop. Father, you're saying that Blood Lord Hyun Fan and Hiza Chamber of Commerce's Guza are dead?" Dan Taiyu was pleasantly surprised. "That's right." Dan Tating smiled. "In other words, Xinghui is now safe. He doesn't have to worry about Blood Lord Hyun Fan's revenge." Chapter 121. That's great. Hearing that, Dan Taiyu could not help but exclaim. "I have to say, Xinghui's luck is pretty good." Dan Tating said and turned to Xinghui. "Xinghui, our Beihai City will be heading towards the Dragon Whale City tomorrow. At that time, Beihai City will only be managed by and will definitely be empty. I hope that Xinghui can bear with us." "This is my duty." Xinghui nodded slightly. There were only a few spirit refining experts in Beihai City. With Dan Tating, Wu Yu and the others leaving, there was no way to bring out any decent experts. They had no choice but to rely on Tsing Hui. Thankfully, the arrival of the upper guest of the Green Ruins has made up for the weakness of our northern sea city's defenses. Otherwise, if the Sea Wind Fortress were to fall, it would probably be extremely difficult for our northern sea city to maintain our current status. Dan Tating said solemnly, Beihai City on Dragon Whale Island is one of the cities furthest from Dragon Whale City. A round trip would take more than a day. Moreover, there will be a series of activities during the treasure presentation assembly. We have no choice but to participate in these activities. Otherwise, we will be excluded from the upper circle of Dragon Whale Country. With all these delays, it would probably be half a month before we return to Beihai City. In this half a month, I hope that everyone will guard Beihai City well to prevent any changes from happening. When Qing Su heard Tan Tai Ting mention this for the second time, his heart skipped a beat. He asked, City Lord Tan Tai, have you received any news? Since Tsing Hui asked, I will not hide it from you. There are indeed rumors from the outside that there are people who have designs on our Beihai City. However, please rest assured, Tsing Hui. Even if our Beihai City's vitality is greatly damaged, and many spirit refining experts have suffered heavy losses, but with so many years of foundation, it is not easy for anyone to deal with us. Those who have designs on our Beihai City must be prepared to be defeated by us. I will personally oversee North Sea City and kill every cultivator who dares to invade North Sea City. At this moment, a clear and resolute voice came from outside the study. Then he saw Dan Ting, who had long hair and was wearing a tight soft armor that accentuated her curvaceous figure, striding over. When Dan Ting arrived, his gaze landed on Tsing Hui. Upper honored guest Tsing Hui, you will help us, right? Tsing Hui was moved by the importance of Dan Taiying and the others, but he didn't say anything. He just nodded and said, of course. All right, upper honored guest Tsing Hui must have had a tough journey. Please rest early and prepare for the upcoming battle in the void of North Sea City. Tsing Hui nodded and retreated. Seeing Qing Su leave, Tan Tai Ting smiled, I've already expressed how much I value him earlier. I'm very likely to rely on him as my left and right arm. There's no need for you to bring it up again. Father, you may not know, but I have just received news that when Tsing Hui left Shaoyang Sea City, both Hyun Fan and Guza had sent a team to kill him. Not long ago, there was news that 13 corpses of spirit refining cultivators were found on a nameless island. 5 of them were sent by Hyun Fan and Guza to kill Tsing Hui. Dan Taiying's face changed. 13 spirit refining cultivators? You mean these 13 spirit refining cultivators were killed by him? It may be impossible for him to kill 13 spirit refining cultivators alone, but these 13 spirit refining cultivators died because of him. Upper honored guest Tsing Hui sold the corpse of a rank 4 half-holy beast Jiuying in Shaoyang Sea City. Uncle Wu should have told you about it, right? Dan Tating looked at Wu Yu and nodded. Manager Wu has indeed told me about it. The fire essence core and water essence core of the rank 4 half-holy beast Jiuying were all taken away. He only sold a corpse that could be used to refine the blood of a holy beast. If the fire essence core was secretly kept by Tsing Hui and refined, then Dan Taiying's words caused Dan Tating and Wu Yu's faces to change. The core of the 4th rank half-holy beast Jiu Ying's flame essence, as long as the cultivator is able to comprehend the mysteries of refining qi into earth force, the energy contained within is enough to allow a cultivator who has just formed their qi to break through to the spirit refining realm, an entire realm. You mean Tsing Hui, with his saint-grade qi at large success, would definitely be in a precarious situation under the encirclement of 13 spirit refining cultivators. After all, no matter how strong the saint-grade qi is, due to the restriction of the realm, he could only barely contend against a beginner spirit refining cultivator. But once he breaks through to the spirit refining realm, and the saint-grade qi he cultivates, there was no need for Dan Taiying to continue speaking. Dan Tating's eyes shone with a dazzling light. He definitely broke through to the spirit refining realm. Otherwise, There is no way to explain how he could survive under the encirclement of 13 spirit-refining cultivators. Moreover, the Fire Essence Core's energy should not be as simple as just breaking through to the spirit-refining realm, but helping him cultivate it to small success. Good fellow. A spirit-refining cultivator who has cultivated holy-grade astral chi, his battle prowess is not inferior to any peak spirit-refining cultivator. Just him alone is enough to fight against several spirit-refining cultivators. Looking at it this way, our Beihai city's overall strength has not decreased. Not only that, once he refines all the fire attribute peerless grade spirit stones, his cultivation will definitely climb to a new level. At that time, the strength of Northern Sea City will also increase. Saint Grade Chi at large success? Dan Tating immediately understood what Dan Taiying was referring to, and his pupils shrunk. Even he, the city lord of Beihai City, who stood at the peak of spirit-refining cultivators, did not have absolute confidence in defeating an expert with Saint Grade Chi at large success. The premise is that we can keep Tsing Hui in Beihai City. As long as he is willing to stay in Beihai City, no one will be able to shake Beihai City's position in Dragon Whale Country. As Dan Taiying spoke, his gaze fell on Dan Taiyu. Dan Tating and Wu Yu also realized where the opportunity was. After refining those fire attribute spirit stones, Tsing Hui will be able to cultivate Saint Grade Chi at large success. The next step is to refine the treasure in my hand, perfect his chi, or even, when Tan Tai Ting said this, it was already somewhat hard to imagine. The higher the grade of the chi, the harder it is to unify the spirit and chi. But if Tsing Hui could really achieve the step of unifying the spirit and chi with Saint Grade Chi at large success from then on, the Dantai clan would have a meteoric rise with no limit. If you really can't take down Tsing Hui, or if you find it hard to say something because of your personality, then let me do it. Dan Tang looked at Dan Taiyu, his pretty face filled with determination. We must tie him to our Dantai clan's war chariot before he truly understands his value. Big sister Dan Taiyu looked at Dan Ting, hesitated for a moment, and then shook her head. Big sister father, based on my understanding of Tsing Hui, I think it's unrealistic to tie Tsing Hui to our Dantai clan's war chariot. If father, big sister, you really trust me, we can give that treasure to him now and treat him with sincerity. Based on my understanding of him over the years, if we really do that, Tsing Hui will remember it in his heart. When he achieves great success in his cultivation in the future, he won't forget the Dantai clan's help. Tan Tai Ting shook his head. That treasure is of great importance. If I offer it to the few great figures ranked in the top 100 on the Divine Dragon ranking, it won't be difficult for me to obtain protection from them. If we give it to him now, what if he takes the treasure away and doesn't return to our Northern Sea City? I don't think Tsing Hui is that kind of person. Say no more. The human heart is unpredictable. You're too young and inexperienced. You don't understand the principle of moving people with benefits, father. Before Dan Tating could finish, Dan Tang interjected, in truth, I think you should consider little sister's words. You should also, father, let me finish what I have to say. Tan Tai Yin waved her hand and said sternly, he managed to cultivate Saint Grade Gang Chi along the way in Qingsu. Furthermore, he clearly chose to sell the Jiao Ying's corpse with supreme grade spirit stones. This shows how ambitious he is. A cultivator like him who has set his sights on the entire world and is bent on cultivating Saint Grade Gang Chi isn't someone that our tiny Tantai clan can restrain. Rather than that, why don't we take advantage of the time when he has yet to rise and provide him with our full support? If there comes a day when he achieves meteoric success, our Tantai clan will be the biggest beneficiary. Dan Tating fell silent for a moment. After a while, he spoke again, I'll consider this matter carefully. It won't be too late to make a final decision after seeing his performance in the face of our Beihai City's calamity. Dan Taiying did not insist, it's all up to father. Tsing Hui naturally did not know that the few people in charge of the Dantai clan had a series of debates over his policy. At this time, he had already returned to his room. This trip to Shaoyang Sea City could be said to have benefited him greatly. Not only did he cultivate his golden Crozian Chi to large success, but he also exchanged for the supreme great fire spirit stones. In addition, he had already comprehended sword intent. The path to the spirit refining realm was already smooth and unobstructed. What he needed to do next was to cultivate properly and rush to the spirit refining realm as soon as possible. Once he reached the spirit refining realm and cultivated divine grade stellar energy, he would join Tianqiong. With Tianqiong as his backer, he would no longer have to live in fear. Even if his identity as the son of primal chaos was exposed, it would be fine. In the entire eastern wasteland, no one would dare to frame a son of primal chaos from the large-scale primal chaos organization Tianqiong. Thinking of this, he did not bother to adjust his mental state. He immediately took out the supreme grade fire spirit stones and entered seclusion to cultivate. In this way, Dan Taiyu, who had been ordered to approach Tsing Hui at night, could do nothing. Early the next morning, the Beihai battleship that was prepared to present the treasures to the Dragon Whale City soared into the sky. Amidst a gust of wind, it tore through the clouds and disappeared into the horizon. Less than a day after Dan Tating, Wu Yu, and the other elites escorted the treasures presented to the Dragon Whale Island Lord and left Beihai City, the atmosphere in Beihai City suddenly became strange. A large group of unfamiliar cultivators poured into Beihai City at the same time. Chapter 122. Although the energy in the Supreme Great Fire Spirit Stone is pure, it's not easy to absorb it. Tsing Hui placed a Fire Spirit Stone on the table. He had 10,000 Supreme Grade Fire Spirit Stones with him. It would take him about a year to refine all of them. If he wanted to cultivate slowly without wasting anything, it would take him 3 years. At that time, he would have a chance of breaking through to the Qi refinement stage with these 10,000 Supreme Grade Fire Spirit Stones. As far as the speed of cultivation was concerned, it was already not slow for him to have a chance to cultivate his Qi into Gang in 3 years. However, as time passed day by day and a part of the 10 years had passed, he was still far away from achieving the vacuum-crushing realm. He was so anxious that even the superb Grade Fire Spiritual Stone could not satisfy his needs. If I have a Fire Attribute Essence Core from a Class 4 Quasi-Saint Beast, it would take me half a month to reach the Qi refinement stage. If I have more Fire Attribute Essence Cores, with my powerful sword will, it would take me 2 months to cultivate Divine Grade Qi refinement stage. Unfortunately, it's not easy to encounter a Class 4 Quasi-Saint Beast. If I encounter one in the sea, I'll die. Tsing Hui shook his head. He took out another Fire Attribute Supreme Grade Fire Spirit Stone and began to refine the Fire Attribute Primal Qi in it to cultivate. Tsing Hui, are you there? Less than half an hour after Tsing Hui resumed his cultivation, Dan Taiyu's anxious voice rang from outside the door. Tsing Hui immediately ended his cultivation and walked out of the door. He saw a worried Dan Taiyu waiting outside the door. Upon seeing Tsing Hui, Dan Taiyu seemed to have found her pillar of support. She heaved a sigh of relief. Tsing Hui, it's great that you're here. Let's go to the city governor's mansion's meeting hall. A large number of experts have entered North Sea City these few days. They're stirring up trouble in the city and even assassinating the Imperial Guards. The situation in the city is getting more and more tense. Please help us. Assassination. It seems like they're probing. Let's go to the meeting hall. Tsing Hui said and headed for the assembly hall. Tsing Hui, when the time comes, if our North Sea City is really in danger, can you please go all out and repel those villains who are disturbing the peace of our North Sea City? Dan Taiyu stood beside Tsing Hui, her right hand pinching the corner of her plaid skirt as she asked nervously. Tsing Hui knew what Dan Taiyu meant by going all out. 5th level high-grade divine weapon. However, if Qing Su relied on the advantage of the Scarlet Dragon Sword right now, he would not necessarily be any weaker than a cultivator of the realm of divine Qi. If he used his divine technique and used his full strength, even regular cultivators of the realm of divine Qi would not be his opponent. If he really did expose the Scarlet Dragon Sword, he could still protect it. It was just that it might cause some unnecessary trouble. If it's necessary, I'll do my best. Hearing Tsing Hui's promise, Dan Taiyu was pleasantly surprised and bowed to Tsing Hui. Thank you, Tsing Hui. Thank you. Tsing Hui held her up with his hand. He had a good impression of this curious little girl. You don't have to be like this. Strictly speaking, you saved my life. Now that you've asked me for help, I'll do my best no matter what. You've already repaid me for saving your life during the bloody battle at Sea Wind Fort. No matter what, our Dan Tai clan has to thank you. Sing Hui smiled and did not say anything. The two of them quickly arrived at the assembly hall. In the meeting hall, Tan Tai In was talking to a middle-aged woman who had perfected her true energy. Both of them had a grave expression on their faces. When she saw Sing Hui and Dan Taiyu arrive, her eyes immediately lit up. She interrupted the middle-aged woman's report and turned to Sing Hui. Sing Hui, you've come at the right time. Our North Sea City's experts have all been transferred to protect the tribute to the Dragon Whale Island Lord. North Sea City can be said to be incomparably empty right now. We'll have to completely rely on you. Since I've accepted the position of North Sea City's upper guest elder, I'll naturally contribute my strength. Sing Hui said. His reply caused the middle-aged woman to look at him with a much friendlier gaze. Sing Hui, let me introduce you. This is my bodyguard captain, Beigong Xiu. Currently, she's temporarily taking up the position of North Sea City's Imperial Guard commander. We can confirm that there's a group of people eyeing our North Sea City. They've sent a large number of True Chi Realm and even Spirit Refining Realm experts to cause trouble in our North Sea City, probing the bottom line of our strength. If we don't stop them, once they think that our North Sea City is soft and easy to bully, they'll definitely launch an all-out attack. At that time, the entire North Sea City will be plunged into misery and suffering. Therefore, before they make up their minds, we must give them a heavy blow and let them understand that no matter who it is, they'll have to pay with their lives if they have any ideas about our North Sea City. When Tan Tai In reached the end of her speech, her words were filled with an iron-blooded and murderous aura. Taking precautions is indeed the best method. Commander Beigong, have you investigated the enemy's background? Currently, we've investigated a total of 102 True Chi Realm cultivators and 6 Spirit Refining Realm cultivators. Fortunately, only 4 of the 6 Spirit Refining Realm cultivators were probing. The remaining 2 represent different powers and are still observing, Beigong Xiu said with a dignified expression. Of course, this is only the number of cultivators that we've investigated. If we include those that have yet to show themselves, the number would have doubled. 6 Spirit Refining Realm cultivators, doubling again. This had already surpassed the combined power of North Sea City. Of course, these Spirit Refining Realm cultivators represented different powers. If they truly belonged to a certain power, there would be no need for them to be so cautious in sending people to probe. They could just directly attack. Do you have the detailed location of those Spirit Refining Realm cultivators that made a move? And? Hearing Sing Hui's question, Dan Tang's gaze fell on him. You intend to use force? Those Spirit Refining Realm cultivators that were sent to investigate usually have extremely strong life-saving abilities. The moment you make a move and fail to take them down, people will see that our North Sea City is weak. At that time, remaining indifferent will only make their probing more obvious. As the eldest daughter of the North Sea City's City Lord, you wouldn't want to see the city fall into chaos under the destruction of these Spirit Refining Realm cultivators, right? Dan Taing thought about the news she received. 13 Spirit Refining Realm cultivators died. More than half of them were killed by the blazing fire attribute Qi. And Sing Hui cultivated fire attribute Qi. Alright, then I'll have to trouble you, Sing Hui. Commander Beigong, I'll have to trouble you to cooperate with Sing Hui. Beigong Xiu looked at Sing Hui. Although she had heard of Sing Hui's name and knew that he had the battle prowess of a Spirit Refining Realm cultivator, but those Spirit Refining Realm cultivators that came to probe were not weak. If Sing Hui was unable to control the situation, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, thinking that if she could consider the problem, Big Miss would also be able to consider it. And Big Miss still did not hesitate to let him carry out this mission. Beigong Xiu did not hesitate. Alright. Head guest Sing Hui, please follow me. She gestured with her hand and brought Sing Hui away. If it wasn't for the fact that we have no one to use, we would not be willing to place our hopes on a stranger that has not even been in North Sea City for 2 months. Looking at Sing Hui's departing figure, Dan Taiying's eyes carried a trace of sorrow. There was no other way. Who asked North Sea City to suffer such disastrous losses and be pushed to the bottom of the 10 cities of Dragon Whale Island? Sister, I believe in Tsing Hui. Since Tsing Hui has spoken, he will definitely be able to save our North Sea City. Dan Taiyu consoled. Seeing his sister's confident appearance, Dan Taiying's heart suddenly moved. You were, back then in Sea Wind Fort, you and Tsing Hui went along the river and chased after those sea beasts that went deep into the land. Was that rank 4 half-holy Juing killed by Tsing Hui? Did he only display his true strength at that time? Dan Taiyu's heart jumped at her sister's question. She hurriedly shook her head. I don't know. At that time, I was very far away and did not know what happened. Really? Really? Dan Taiyu nodded repeatedly. Dan Taiying smiled and retracted her gaze from Dan Taiyu's face. After all, she was her own sister. How could she, as her sister, not know her character and whether she was lying or not? Seems like this Tsing Hui has hidden his strength very deeply. His true strength may be far beyond my imagination. At least, it's not as simple as defeating 13 spirit refining experts. Thinking of this, Dan Taiying's starry eyes flashed. Father is ultimately too cautious. If such a genius is not quickly tied together with great benefits, when he truly soars to the heavens in the future, there will be no more opportunities. Where is father's treasure hidden? I have to find it. Prince Tsing Hui, there are a total of 4 spirit refining experts probing our Beihai City. Among them, the most arrogant one is this one. We do not know his name, but we know that his nickname is Bai Shanzi. On the night before yesterday, he sneaked into our mansion and killed 13 of our guards. However, this person seems to have awakened the dragon swallow blood meridians. His movement is extremely fast. Even a peak spirit refining expert might not be able to match his speed. Once he reacted, he could easily shake us off. I wonder what plans does Senior Tsing Hui have? Beigong Xiu brought Tsing Hui to a small courtyard in the middle of the city. Plan? Tsing Hui smiled. There is no need for a plan. Don't give him any time to react and just kill him with a sword. Tsing Hui's words caused Beigong Xiu's expression to turn sluggish. Senior Tsing Hui, you are joking, right? Although Bai Shanzi specializes in speed, he is still a middle-stage spirit refining expert. Even the city lord might not be able to kill him in one strike. If you do not have a detailed plan, it is best not to act rashly and alert the enemy. In order to determine his whereabouts, we have been tracking him for 2 days and 2 nights without rest. Since Dan Taiying gave you full authority to cooperate with me, you only need to do what you should do. As for the rest, leave it to me. Seal off this area and don't let the news spread out. After finishing his words, Tsing Hui leaped and landed in the courtyard. Almost at the instant he landed in the courtyard, Bai Shanzi, who was hiding in the courtyard, immediately sensed his presence. The next moment, he broke through the window and was about to leave with his fastest speed. Damn it, unable to accomplish anything, but good at spoiling things. Seeing this scene, Beigong Xiu cursed and was about to rush forward to intercept Bai Shanzi. But at this moment, a sword ray burst out. A blazing streak of light pierced through Bai Shanzi's body in an instant. Then, with a spin, it returned to the green ruins, vanishing without a trace. Let's go next. Chapter 123. Beigong Xiu looked at Bai Shanzi, who had rushed out of the window and fallen to the ground dead before he could escape the courtyard. Her eyes immediately widened. That was, he directly used a thunderous method to kill the 4 spirit refining cultivators who attacked Beihai City. I think that at that time, those spirit refining cultivators would calm down. Beigong Xiu trembled and finally woke up. At this moment, she finally understood why the big miss was so assured in letting Tsing Hui handle this matter. With this kind of strength, ordinary spirit refining cultivators were nothing. Why would he be afraid of those small fries? With the Qing Su upper honored guest in our Beihai City, we can rest easy. I apologize for doubting the strength of the Qing Su upper honored guest. I will bring you to the location of the next spirit refining cultivator. No worries, let's go. Just don't let the news spread. Why? If we were to spread this news, we would be able to intimidate those restless spirit refining cultivators. Those spirit refining cultivators obviously came to Beihai City to probe. It's impossible for them to not notice the abnormality here. I'm afraid that in less than half an hour after you leave, they will know about Bai Shanxi's death. However, if they find out about Bai Shanxi's death, the effect would be different from us deliberately spreading the news in a while. As long as we are fast enough and do not leave behind any clues, the fear brought by the unknown will easily crush their will. Hearing this, Bei Gongxiu nodded. Xing Hui's words make sense. The unknown is the most terrifying. Let's end this quickly. Don't give them time to react. Xing Hui rummaged through Bai Shanxi's corpse. Other than a rank 3 divine weapon, there was nothing good. After all, these people came with the intention to cause trouble. It was impossible for them to bring along real treasures. Bringing along a weapon for fighting was already the limit. Bei Gongxiu replied respectfully and brought Xing Hui to the next spirit refining cultivator. Although those spirit refining cultivators were very cautious and had good life-saving methods, in front of absolute strength, they were not worth mentioning. In less than an hour, the 4 spirit refining cultivators who tried to probe Beihai City were all killed by him. After killing the 4 spirit refining cultivators, Xing Hui quietly left and continued his closed-door cultivation. However, as the news of the 4 spirit refining cultivators being killed in less than an hour spread out, the originally turbulent Beihai City suddenly quieted down. The wind and waves calmed down. Those cultivators who harbored ill intentions were all trembling under this thunderous blow, and no longer dared to do anything excessive. Bei Gongxiu was the first to receive the news. She excitedly went to Tan Taiyu's office in the city lord's residence. Eldest young miss, no wonder the city lord could rest assured and let you guard Beihai City alone to defend against those small fries. It turns out that we actually have an expert like the Qing Su Hai guest in Beihai City. 4 spirit refining cultivators were killed in less than an hour. Those are spirit refining cultivators. They belong to the core of any power. 4 of them died in an instant. Currently, all the foreign cultivators in Beihai City are so scared that they keep quiet out of fear, not daring to act blindly without thinking. In less than an hour, 4 spirit refining cultivators were killed. Although Dan Taiying was already mentally prepared, after hearing Bei Gongxiu's report, she could not help but hold her breath. However, in front of Bei Gongxiu, she naturally would not reveal anything. She only smiled confidently. That's natural. With Xing Hui here, our Beihai City can rest easy. If there are any more people jumping around, watch them and do not act rashly. When the time is right, let Xing Hui make a move and kill them one by one. I don't believe that the loss of so many spirit refining cultivators will not hurt. That's how it should be. Either we don't make a move, or we make them feel pain. Big Missy, I'll go arrange it, Bei Gongxiu said and quickly retreated. Seeing Bei Gongxiu leave, Dan Taiying could not help but think of the information she just reported to Xing Hui. When Beihai City suddenly became peaceful, Longjing City's treasure offering assembly had already begun and was about to reach the climax of the announcement. However, just as the announcement was about to begin, a travel-worn man came to the Longjing Island Lord's residence and asked for an audience. He was called into the guest hall. In the guest hall, the Longjing Island Lord, who looked to be in his 40s, was holding a cup of tea and carefully sipping it. Behind him was an old man. This old man looked unremarkable, standing behind the Longjing Island Lord like a servant. However, Zhang Jiuxiao did not dare to underestimate him. This was because this old man was one of the Dragon Whale Island's 3 Unity of Spirit Realm experts, the infamous impermanence envoys Wu Wucheng. Because the Dragon Whale Island Master had once saved his life, he was willing to become the Dragon Whale Island Master's butler and follow his every command. Come try it. This is one of the tribute teas that Brother Yun Tao sent over. It's a specialty of Wave City. Brother Yun Tao does not like to manage the city, but the flowers and plants he grows are truly extraordinary. Ordinary people do not have the right to enjoy such good tea. Zhang Jiuxiao hurriedly stood up when he heard the island lord mention Yun Tao's name. It's my honor to be able to enjoy tea personally picked by Yun Tao. Yun Tao, the Wave City Lord, was the Longjing Island Lord's 3rd Spirit Chi Unity Stage cultivator. Only Spirit Chi Unity Stage cultivators had the qualifications to make the Island Lord address them as brothers. Zhang Jiuxiao, didn't you join a core disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect? You should be living a comfortable life now. Why do you have time to visit my Longjing Island? Said the Island Lord indifferently as he sipped his tea. When it comes to comfort, how can I compare to the Island Lord who oversees a region and controls the life and death of tens of millions of people? Alright, I've already heard these words of flattery countless times in the past 80 years. You don't have to say any more. If you have something to say, just say it directly. We're currently in the middle of the treasure presentation assembly. A few city lords have presented a few good treasures. I intend to carefully observe them. I'm actually here for the treasure presentation assembly. I've heard that the little island lord is so young, but your cultivation talent has been tested to be above average. Your future is limitless. However, if you want to have any achievements on the cultivation path, you'll need a top-notch cultivation technique. If your awakened bloodline is strong enough, your cultivation will be twice the result with half the effort, and your strength will grow by leaps and bounds. It's not easy to obtain a top-notch cultivation technique. 3 years ago, for a top-notch sacred scripture, I fought with several divine dragon list cultivators. In the end, I killed a Spirit Chi Unity Stage cultivator and 32 Spirit Refining cultivators before I took the sacred scripture for myself. Unfortunately, the sacred scripture doesn't seem to be compatible with Lin Er's talent. You mentioned the treasure presentation assembly because you want to give Peng Er a top-notch cultivation technique, right? That's right. Oh? The Island Lord glanced at Zhang Jiuxiao. What kind of cultivation technique can you have? You've joined the Hunyuan Heaven sect's true disciple. Don't tell me that the true disciple will pass the Hunyuan Heaven sect's secret cultivation technique to you? Moreover, even if it's a secret cultivation technique of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, I don't care about ordinary saint cultivation techniques. Don't tell me you can obtain the Hunyuan Heaven sect's sacred scripture, the Black Hole Sutra? Zhang Jiuxiao respectfully lowered his head. What I want to give to the Island Lord is the Hunyuan Heaven sect's sacred scripture, the Black Hole Sutra. Who? The Dragon Whale Island Master, who had been calm and indifferent, suddenly stood up. What did you say? You said you want to give me the Hunyuan Heaven sect's supreme cultivation technique, the Black Hole Sutra? The sacred scripture of the sect. That's right. Only a supreme cultivation technique like the Black Hole Sutra is worthy of the little island lord's above-average cultivation talent. The island lord realized that he had lost his composure and sat back down. However, his breathing was clearly heavier. Tell me, what do you want? Island Lord is wise. In truth, I'm here on behalf of a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. She's willing to give you a handwritten copy of the Black Hole Sutra as a congratulatory gift. She wants you to kill someone for her. A handwritten copy? Hearing that, the Dragon Whale Island Lord calmed down slightly. However, it was only natural. Even a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect might not be able to obtain the true copy of the Black Hole Sutra. If it was just a handwritten copy, it would be more believable. I remember that the master you're seeking refuge with is called by you, a spirit refining disciple? Zhuo Wucheng, who had been standing behind the island lord like a shadow, suddenly spoke. Lord Wucheng's eyes are as bright as torches. The true disciple I'm seeking refuge with is Fairy Bai Yu. Not long ago, Bai Yu's most beloved younger brother was killed by someone called Chou Tsinghui. However, Chou Tsinghui had a relative called Nayland Fei who protected him. Bai Yu wanted to take revenge, but she couldn't do anything. The person you want Island Lord to kill wouldn't be that Chou Tsinghui, right? Zhang Jiuxiao was taken aback for a moment before he hurriedly said respectfully, I didn't expect Lord Wucheng to have such detailed information about a true disciple from the mainland. I admire you greatly. However, the person Fairy Bai Yu wants to kill is Chou Tsinghui. Moreover, Chou Tsinghui has already fled overseas. If you want to establish a force overseas, if you don't have a clear grasp of the 10 great sects movements, who knows when you'll be destroyed by the temple masters sent by the 10 great sections? Who is Chou Tsinghui? The Dragon Whale Island Lord asked in excitement. Chou Tsinghui isn't worth mentioning. However, his relative, Nayland Fei, is quite amazing. She's already cultivated Saint-grade astral chi at such a young age. Astral chi realm? Then there's no need to pay attention to her. So what if she has Saint-grade astral chi? Even if her astral chi has reached grand completion, I guarantee that she won't be able to return if she dares to behave atrociously in my island lord's territory. The Dragon Whale Island master waved his hand heroically and took over the task. I'll take care of it. Wu Chang, investigate Chua Qingshu's whereabouts immediately. There's no need to investigate. Chou Tsinghui is on our island. Chapter 124. There's no need to investigate. Chou Tsinghui is in our Dragon Whale Island. Zhuo Wuchang said. And? The Dragon Whale Island's owner narrowed his eyes. Zhang Jiuxiao could not help but reveal a look of joy. That Chou Tsinghui is actually here? He's really walking right into a trap. Island Lord, please immediately take action and kill Chou Tsinghui. As long as you can kill Chou Tsinghui, I will hand over the Black Hole Scripture's awakening piece with both hands. This is a little interesting. The Dragon Whale Island's owner swept a glance at Zhuo Wuchang. Speak, what's going on? Island Lord should know that my disciple broke through to the peak of the spirit refining realm not long ago. This brat's temperament is strong, and after reaching the peak of the spirit refining realm, he was unwilling to use the resources I gave him to cultivate. He wanted to rely on himself to make a name for himself. In the end, I could only let him choose one of the cities on the island. Coincidentally, there was a rank 4 half-sacred Juing leading a group of people to attack Beihai City, causing great damage to its vitality. Thus, he set his sights on Beihai City. Oh? I've also heard of this matter. The Beihai City's owner is called Dan Tating, right? He can be considered as the #1 person in the spirit refining realm. Moreover, the treasure he offered this time is not bad, a space stone. My dragon whale bloodline can swallow the world. Refining the space stone will be of great help to my cultivation. Space stone? That's only a portion of what the Northern Sea City obtained. The real benefit that the Northern Sea City obtained was a Class 4 half-holy beast, 9 infants. N? Rank 4 half-sacred Joing? The Dragon Whale Island's owner seemed to have thought of something, and his expression immediately became unsightly. You're saying that the corpse of the semi-holy beast Joing that stirred up a storm in Shaoyang Sea City not long ago came from our Dragon Whale Island? That's right. I have yet to find out why the 4th level half-saint beast Jiuying died at the hands of North Sea City, but according to my calculations, it is a fact that North Sea City benefited from its corpse. The city lord of North Sea City, Dan Tating, used Chou Tsinghui as a cover to sell Jiuying's corpse in exchange for many benefits. However, the true benefit was the fire and water essence core in Jiuying's body, which had long been digested by him in secret. Compared to the fire and water essence core, a mere space stone is nothing. Zhuo Wuchang sneered. Dan Tating, how dare you? How dare you sell the treasures of my Dragon Whale Island in Shaoyang Sea City? Is Dan Tating still in the residence? Immediately send people to capture him alive and interrogate him. When I saw him a few days ago, his cultivation had yet to break through. Most likely he has yet to refine the fire and water essence core. The Dragon Whale Island's lord's face flashed with coldness. A mere city lord of North Sea City was nothing in his eyes. After all, most of the cultivators in the sea were in the awakening realm, true chi realm, and spirit refining realm. However, this little city lord that he didn't take seriously actually caused him to miss out on the corpse of a quasi-sacred beast, the 9-headed snakelet, and even caused him to miss out on the fire-water essence core. If he could obtain the 9-headed snakelet's water essence core and refine it, there would be great hope for his cultivation to break through to the late stage of divine chi unison realm. The late stage of spirit and chi unity realm was enough to raise his ranking on the divine dragon list by at least 100 places. At that time, his authority and influence would be far greater than what he had now. Island Lord, if we capture Dan Tating now, I'm afraid that we will alert the enemy. Once Chou Tsinghui guesses something, he will immediately escape and it will not be easy for us to capture him again. That Chou Tsinghui still has this kind of ability? Zhuo Wuchang whispered, island lord may not know, but that disciple of mine was originally full of confidence and wanted to take North Sea City for himself. However, because of Cho Tsing Hui's interference, he was forced to return in defeat. It was also because of this that I specially investigated Cho Tsing Hui's origin and found out about the matters of the Hunyuan Heaven sect that Cho Tsing Hui most likely refined Jiuying's fire essence core and broke through to the spirit refining realm. His battle prowess is not inferior to a peak spirit refining realm cultivator. Peak spirit refining realm, Dan Tating cannot escape from Dragon Whale City. However, once Cho Tsing Hui receives the news and escapes, with his peak spirit refining realm strength, ordinary people will not be able to deal with him. Thus, in my opinion, there is no harm in temporarily stabilizing Dan Tating while I personally head to North Sea City to capture Cho Tsing Hui. At that time, we will be able to catch them all in one fell swoop. Wu Chang, if you are willing to personally make a trip, then there will naturally be no mistakes. Zhang Jiuxiao quickly said, "Many thanks, Lord Wu Chang. No matter how powerful that Cho Tsing Hui is, he has only cultivated for a short period of time. As long as Lord Wu Chang is willing to appear, it will be easy to capture him." Suo Wu Chang nodded. "Then I will go and arrange the matters at hand. We will set off tomorrow morning." The death of the 4 spirit refining realm cultivators calmed down the storm in North Sea City. The large number of awakening realm, true Qi realm, and even spirit refining realm cultivators that entered North Sea City had all retreated in just a short day. Because Tsing Hui had Beigong Xiu and the rest in charge of blocking the news, outsiders did not know the details of the death of the 4 spirit refining realm cultivators. In less than an hour, the 4 spirit refining cultivators seemed to have been killed. It was precisely because of the fear of the unknown that many cultivators retreated in fear. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. With everyone retreating, Tsing Hui naturally became idle again. Originally, he planned to wait until he reached the peak of True Qi realm before using the Great Sun Essence. But now, he was considering if he should use it in advance. After all, a year's time to refine the peerless Great Fire Spirit Stones and cultivate to the peak of True Qi realm was too slow for him. Wait a minute, a peerless grade fire spirit stone might not be the highest grade spirit stone. Perhaps there are even higher grade spirit stones, it's just that the news overseas is blocked, and coupled with the restriction of strength, no one knows Aunt Nailin is a direct disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, and is also a member of the Vault of Heaven. She must know about the items above peerless grade spirit stones if I can use peerless grade spirit stones to exchange for them. Thinking of this, Tsing Hui did not hesitate and directly entered the Primal Chaos Shrine. He contacted Nailin Fei and requested to enter her personal space. Pak Hui. Accompanied by the distortion of space, a clear voice sounded in his ear. "What's the matter?" It was Nailin Fei. Tsing Hui nodded. "I would like to ask, what are the cultivation stones above peerless grade fire spirit stones? Is it possible to exchange for them?" The cultivation stones above peerless grade fire spirit stones are spirit crystals. Usually, only saints use them. Spirit crystals are produced in many places, but the production is not high. They are usually monopolized by the 10 great saint sects. It's not easy to exchange for spirit crystals. Nailin Fei paused for a moment before a thought struck her. "You want to use spirit crystals to cultivate? There's no need for that. Other than those top-tier treasures, peerless grade spirit stones are the best choice for cultivation." "I can't exchange for spirit crystals." Tsing Hui was a little disappointed. The news of spirit crystals had not spread. It seemed like it had nothing to do with the 10 great saint sects' monopoly. "You want to exchange for spirit crystals? It's not impossible, but you'll have to pay twice the price. It's not worth it." In Tianhuang region, where trade is relatively free, the exchange rate between peerless grade spirit stones and spirit crystals is 110 won. However, in Eastern Wilderness, the exchange rate is 200 won. Moreover, you can only exchange for a small amount of spirit crystals. "Do you have connections?" "Yes. But it's very troublesome. I have 10,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones. I want to exchange all of them for spirit crystals." Tsing Hui said, 10,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones? What did you do? Did you rob an island guarded by an immortal stage 4 expert? Nayland Fei was shocked. It's just a coincidence. Ant might be able to exchange them for spirit crystals. 10,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones for 50 fire spirit crystals? It's not a large amount, but it's doable. Alright, I'll ask Blazing Glory to make a trip to the mainland. Nayland Fei nodded. Just as she was about to say something, her personal space suddenly shook. It was as if a vast force was shaking her personal space, causing many items in her personal space to vibrate slightly. The sudden change caused Nayland Fei's expression to freeze. A war between Tianqiong and the other forces has broken out? A war between chaos? There are two types of battles between Sons of Chaos. One is a battle between individuals, and the other is a battle between groups. Even I'm affected by it. Clearly, this is a battle between organizations. We, Heaven's Vault, are fighting against other chaos organizations. The battle between chaos can only be started when someone who is at the 30th level of chaos buys a token of the realm of battle from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. This is a meaningless battle. It can even be said that it's a cruel way for the Chaos Temple to recover Sons of Chaos. At this point, Nayland Fei hurriedly got to her feet. Xing Hui, I have to find someone to ask what exactly happened that forced Tianqiong to go all out to wage a war between chaos. Xing Hui nodded. However, Nayland Fei's words made Xing Hui understand one thing. The chaos level could be passed down, but why did the number of Sons of Chaos in this world not keep increasing? It probably had something to do with the war between chaos before them. Retrieve the Sons of Chaos? Seeing that Nayland Fei had left, Xing Hui's figure flashed, and he appeared in the Hall of Dawn. At this time, the people of Dawn were gathered in groups of 3 to 5 and chatting. The topic of their conversation was actually related to Tianqiong. Xing Hui immediately stood at the side and listened. It seems that the higher-ups of Tianqiong are really angry this time. They actually didn't hesitate to wage a war between Tianqiong and divine punishment. This is a war that won't end until one side dies. I just don't know what level this war is on. It's time to teach those people from divine retribution a lesson. They're extremely arrogant, and quite a few of them have extremely bad reputations. More than once, they've killed Sons of Chaos and stolen Dao-bearing treasures in the name of business deals. They've most likely provoked Heaven's Dome, and they're unwilling to bow their heads. That's why Heaven's Dome is so angry. A war between chaos will do more harm than good to both chaos organizations. It's purely for revenge. All the Sons of Chaos on the losing side will be stripped of their chaos level and become ordinary people. The winning side won't get any benefits, and they'll have to spend 100 Dao Aura points to buy a token of the World of Battle. It's a battle of personal feelings. 100 Dao Aura points? The total Dao Aura points of all of us in Dawn are less than 100, right? After all, we usually have 2 or 3 Dao Aura points on us. Only the big shots of top organizations like Tianqiong can afford such a high price. Chapter 125. As expected, it's a method of retrieving Sons of Chaos. The initiator has to spend 100 Taoist rhymes to buy the token of the Realm of Battle from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. If they win, they won't get any rewards. If they lose, their chaos ranks will be stripped, and they'll become ordinary people. Even the treasures stored in their personal space will be reduced to nothingness if they can't retrieve them in time. No wonder Nayland Fei was in such a hurry when she learned that Celestial Vault had started the War of Chaos. Xing Hui listened for a moment and had a preliminary understanding of the War of Chaos. Heaven's Inquisition is here. Heaven's Inquisition, do you have any specific information about the battle between Celestial Vault and Divine Punishment? These two organizations of chaos are among the most powerful organizations in our Chaos Temple. Why would a war suddenly break out between them? Once the war starts, it'll really be a terrible disaster. Based on the information from the Divine Mystery Pavilion, which of these two chaos organizations will win? At this moment, there was a burst of exclamations from the crowd. Everyone gathered around Heaven's Inquisition, who had a clear source of information. In fact, the outcome is already clear. Celestial Vault is stronger than Divine Punishment, and now they're prepared for the war and have accumulated a lot of Taoist rhymes. Unless Divine Punishment can get external help, or if they've angered Celestial Vault itself, they'll definitely lose. As Heaven's Inquisition spoke, he shook his head. The War of Chaos between the two organizations will have at least 10 participants. As far as I know, the 10 core members of Celestial Vault usually have more than 1,000 Taoist rhymes, and they're specially prepared for war. The average level of these 10 core members is level 25. As long as they set their participation level to level 25, even if Divine Punishment, as the challenged party, can choose to raise or lower their participation level by 1 chaos level and send Sons of Chaos above level 24 to fight, there'll still be no match for Celestial Vault in terms of numbers. It seems that there are less than 10 Sons of Chaos above level 24 in the entire Divine Punishment. Divine Punishment is done. The 10 core members are level 25. I like Celestial Vault's way of suppressing others. If Divine Punishment doesn't choose to adjust their participation level to level 24, the entire organization won't be able to gather 10 Sons of Chaos whose average level is level 25. They'll definitely lose. Indeed. Heaven's Inquisition nodded. The 4 great leaders are the best at Divine Punishment. 2 of them are at level 26 and 2 of them are at level 25. Since the 2 level 26 Sons of Chaos are overflowing, they can choose to replace them with 2 level 24 Sons of Chaos. Even so, the final result is 6 against 10. They are still unable to withstand a single blow. Maybe the Taoist rhymes of the godly punishment tycoons have more than 2,000 Taoist rhymes? Someone joked. However, his words were quickly rebutted by someone else. Apart from those large chaos organizations that have to be prepared for the War of Chaos, who would choose not to upgrade their chaos level after having 200 Taoist rhyme points and instead keep it as a precaution? The War of Chaos will last for 3 days at most. In order to collect enough Taoist aura points, the deity's punishment will definitely sell many treasures at a discounted price. It's a pity that the treasures from the deity's punishment will not be cheap even if they are discounted. That's true. Well, this kind of thing is too far away for us. You don't have to discuss it too much. Just be careful and don't offend those great leaders who have level 30 Sons of Chaos. However, I believe that even if we offend them, they will not waste a token of the realm of battle that is worth 100 Taoist rhymes for a small organization like ours. Xing Yao stepped forward and temporarily put an end to this topic. However, many people were still waiting for the answer of this War of Chaos. Xing Hui, similarly. Apart from cultivating, he also spared a part of his mind to watch the show and wait for the final result of this War of Chaos. Just as the people of Daunt had guessed, Divine Punishment began to constantly sell off various treasures after being unable to withstand the attacks of Heaven's Dome, exchanging them for treasures that could carry the truth. For a moment, Grade 12 and 13 Saint Artifacts, Phoenix Essence Blood, Black Tortoise Essence Blood, and Azure Dragon Essence Blood were all thrown into the market. Qing Su even saw more than one exchange for the Essence Blood of the Golden Crow. Unfortunately, this kind of treasure was too expensive. With his 3 Taoist rhymes, he could not afford 2.5 drops of it. He could only learn from it. However, no matter how hard the deity's punishment tried to sell many treasures, it still could not reverse its fate of defeat. On the afternoon of the second day of the war, Nayland Fei returned to her personal space and invited Xing Hui in. She said in a relaxed mood, "It's over. The deity's punishment has been broken up. The 4 great leaders have been stripped of their chaotic level. It's a pity that they all ran away very quickly. Otherwise, without the enhancement of divine arts, talent, recovery, and other special abilities, the 4 great leaders would have all been killed. Unlike now, we only destroyed the large sect that they founded, the deity's punishment palace." Xing Hui nodded. A level 1 divine art could temporarily increase a cultivator's strength by 1 level. When it reached level 6, it could temporarily increase a cultivator's strength by 2 levels. This kind of secret technique could completely turn the tide of a battle if used at a critical moment. In addition, The resurrection technique used when one was at level 20 of chaotic level could also explode with amazing combat power. Think about it. It was not easy to kill an enemy at the peak of the saint level at a great cost, but he was resurrected immediately and returned to the battlefield. What a blow to the morale of the enemy. Because of this, having a primal chaos level and not having a primal chaos level were two completely different concepts. Why did Firmament and the deity's punishment start fighting? Some small conflicts have been accumulating. In addition, 3 days ago, the deity's punishment took in a traitor of Firmament. Our swordsmen went to hunt him down but were repelled by the deity's punishment. This is the biggest provocation to Firmament. Because of this, the leaders of Firmament did not hesitate to go to war. The deity's punishment is really courting death. Firmament has been concealing our strength and biding our time, while the deity's punishment has been devouring all sides. The last few times we ignored them, they took an inch and wanted a mile. Now they know the price they have to pay for offending us. At this point, Nail and Faye seem to have thought of something. This matter should be over now. Contact me when you reach the inland. Okay. Sing Hui nodded. The two of them quickly left. Sing Hui returned to his room. He could not help but sigh as he recalled what he had seen and heard in Dawn these 2 days. So what if he was a 25th rank son of chaos? So what if he cultivated to the peak of the saint realm? In the end, wasn't he still killed by a colossus like Firmament? Even such a person would fall one day. This made him feel a sense of urgency from the bottom of his heart. I've already summoned Blazing Glory. In 3 to 5 days, he'll probably come to North Sea City with these supreme-grade fire spirit stones and head inland to exchange for spirit crystals. And now, the essence of the sun appeared in Tsing Hui's hand. Heavenly treasure? The main purpose of heavenly treasures was to enhance one's cultivation. If one did not use them to enhance one's cultivation, what was the difference between them and sand? Immediately, the pure energy contained in the essence of the sun was continuously refined into his body. The essence of the sun was refined from absorbing the power of the sun. The golden crow was the spirit of the sun, also known as the sun golden crow. After obtaining the power of the essence of the sun, it immediately cheered happily. The golden crow chi in his body grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. The rate of growth was so fast that it far exceeded the rate of refining the core of the half-holy beast Jiuying's fire essence. In just one night, Tsing Hui had completely refined the pure energy of the essence of the sun. No, it could not be called refining but fusion. When the essence of the sun entered his body, it naturally integrated into his qi, causing the power of his golden crow qi to increase sharply. In one breath, it rose to the realm of perfection. It's really worthy of being the most precious treasure of the Jinwu religion. If an ordinary cultivator were to use the essence of the sun, not only would they suffer from severe losses, it would also be difficult for them to move forward. A moment of carelessness would cause them to suffer from qi deviation. But for a cultivator who has cultivated the divine grade golden crow qi, it's a piece of cake. Tsing Hui was still not satisfied. The only shortcoming is that it's too little. My spirit has reached rank 46. Before reaching the peak of spirit refining realm, there won't be any bottlenecks. The only hurdle is the unity of spirit, and qi. Rank 46 spirit is enough to cultivate the spirit grade aura to the unity of spirit and qi. Even if it's the divine grade aura, as long as it's polished to perfection and with the help of external forces, it's not difficult to advance. But the divine grade aura without a spirit grade of 50, there's no hope of success. Taking a look at his stats: attack tier 41, defense tier 36, speed tier 39. In terms of stats, he's not inferior to a late-stage spirit refining cultivator. Especially his attack, it's already reached the unity of spirit and qi. However, when it comes to true qi, he has an innate advantage. Without using the Crimson Dragon Sword, his battle prowess can only be comparable to a peak spirit refining cultivator, or maybe even weaker. But once he uses the Crimson Dragon Sword, relying on the increase in his attack power, Prince Tsing Hui. At this moment, Dan Taiyu's voice came from outside the door. As Tsing Hui opened the door, Dan Taiyu seemed to have been waiting outside for a long time. Could it be that someone is causing trouble again? Are they not afraid of death? No. Young Master Ching Su, the chief caretaker of Dragon Whale Island, Lord Impermanence, has personally come to our North Sea city. It's said that the Dragon Whale Island master likes the treasures my father offered him, so he's specially come to reward him. However, for some reason, he's heard of your deeds and wants to meet you. The chief steward of Long Whale Island, Zhuo Wuchang? He came to Beihai City to give a reward? That's right. This time, Father has gifted an extremely valuable nether space stone. The Dragon Whale Island master needs this item for his cultivation. It seems that Father has given the right gift. This way, our North Sea city will be able to rest easy for the next 10 years. Dan Taiyu was somewhat happy. On the other hand, Tsing Hui muttered to himself. He felt that there was something wrong with this matter. Even if the island's master really liked the dark space stone presented by Dan Tai and wanted to send an envoy to reward him, he wouldn't send his most trusted chief steward Zhuo Wuchang. However, as for what's wrong, he'll have to meet Zhuo Wuchang to know. At this moment, he maintained his vigilance and nodded to Dan Taiyu before heading to the guest hall. They are tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.